totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Friday to everybody out there in America's finest city. Should be a fun weekend for everybody out there in San Diego. Padres taking on the Rockies the next 3 days after winning last night over Colorado by a score of 2-0. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2. I want to thank, they obviously did it for the morning show, but Peterson's Donut Corner dropped off a ton of donuts this morning because they heard our donut conversation from yesterday on the round table. That was very nice of them. But at the same time, we're the Food Bit show. They stole our Food Bit show on the other food show, the other show that's sponsored by food, the round table. So I had a classic raised donut with sprinkles on it because that is my go-to. They had that in there. And they got a bunch of other stuff in here that's just gigantic. One of them's called pillows. They look like a pillow. They're massive. They're like the biggest donuts I've ever seen. I think they're up in Escondido. They are. Somebody on our coaching staff used to pick donuts up from that place for film on Saturdays. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the Padres game yesterday. Padres beat the Rockies 2-0. Padres are expected to take care of business against the Rockies the next 4 days. When you look at Colorado, if you're a contending team, you got to be a team that could beat up on Colorado. The Dodgers just did it for 3 days. And the thing about Colorado, I mean, you look at their lineup, it's not that spectacular compared to the lineups that you are running out each and every day. That's one. The other part of this lineup, okay, is involved with the pitching. As long as you miss Kyle Freeland, you should be able to handle Colorado. And as long as you don't see Chase Dolander at sea level, you should be able to handle Colorado. And so right now, the Padres have 3 more games against Colorado to try to get some wins back after having what has been a very rough stretch in the month of August and September. You sit 2.5 games behind LA now for the number 1 spot in the National League West. Again, that's like sitting 3 games back because they have the tiebreaker. You're going to need San Francisco to do some serious damage against LA this weekend and the following weekend if you want to even consider being part of the National League West conversation. That being said, I still said yesterday that this is over. I don't think the Padres really have a chance of winning the division. It'd be great if they did. I hope they prove me wrong, but based on what needs to happen for them to do that, it's becoming a lot more difficult to the point of shouldn't really have to worry about it too much anymore. Now, the good thing is the Padres are still holding off the New York Mets, who continue to not play good baseball. They've now lost 6 games in a row, so I guess it could be worse. Mets are only 5 games above 500 now and sit a game and a half in front of Cincinnati and a game and a half in front of San Francisco. You look at the Giants only a game and a half back. That's exactly what you're looking for if you want to win the division. You got the Giants competing for a wild card spot now, taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And hopefully the Phillies can beat up on the Dodgers too. But again, you have to view catching people in the standings on series. This is one of the last series left. This is one of the last 5 series left for San Diego. In order to catch LA, without asking for any sweeps of any kind for both the Dodgers and the Padres, either sweep for or against, the Padres in their next 5 series have to win all 5 series. Now, in order to catch the Dodgers, and you have to do 1 game better than them, they have to lose 3 out of the next 5 series. That's where you're at. I mean, in reality, they really have to lose 4 of their next 5 series if you want to win the division. That's assuming nobody gets swept. That's why I said what I said about the division. Because somebody in the chat goes, does he not see the Dodgers' next 10 games? Well, unless you're sweeping teams, which we haven't determined was going to be the case with the Padres, and LA gets swept, it takes time to make up that many games in Major League Baseball. I mean, go ahead and look at the Dodgers' schedule for their next 10 games. They got the Giants 7 times, and they got the Phillies 3 times. And in those 10 games, let's just say they lose all 3 of the series. So that means they lose 2 out of 3 to San Francisco. They lose 2 out of 3 to Philadelphia, which puts them at, 2-4? And then they lose 3 out of 4 to the Giants. That would put them at 3-7 in their next 10? In order to make up the 3 games, the Padres have to do 3 games better in their next 10. I mean, the Padres are going to have to do some serious damage against Colorado, and then they got to do more serious damage against the New York Mets. And even then, it's still no guarantee. That's why I talked about it yesterday. The division right now is it's basically out of reach. It's almost out of reach. But you should be focused on playing your best form of baseball going into October. Playing your best form of baseball right now headed into the playoffs. And finding ways to get yourself right more than worrying about other teams. There's really no reason to scoreboard watch right now. You have a 5.5 game lead on Cincinnati, a 4 game lead on the Mets, and you are 3.5 games behind Chicago and 2.5 games behind the Dodgers. So right now, it's not a lot of scoreboard watching. Right now, it is focusing on yourself. And last night was a good bounce back for the Padres in terms of getting a W. Now, Luis Arraez had half the hits yesterday. He was 3 for 4 with an RBI. That's great. The problem is, as said before, he had half the hits. Out of the 6 hits, Arraez had 3 of them. Toddy goes 0-4. Machado continues to struggle at the plate. Gavin Sheets was 0-for. Laureano 0-for. Jackson Merrill got the home run. He was 1 for 3 last night. Ryan O'Hearn was 1 for 3 last night. Jed Cronenworth 0 for 2 with a walk. Freddie Fermin 1 for 3 last night. So you look at the Padres, I mean, offensively, they still haven't really figured it out. A lot of it has to go with Manny Machado. Where Manny goes is where this team goes. And I feel like at this point, Manny Machado needs a day off. He'll never take a day off. But I honestly feel like Manny Machado needs a day off to try to get right. And I know he's going to be able to do it. I'm not really worried about him doing that, even though it's been some time. I think he could do it. I think it's only a matter of time before he turns it around. But this is a massive funk for Manny Machado. Massive funk for Manny Machado. I mean, another 0 for 4 performance last night. I mean, you look at his numbers from August 1st on, and it is really nothing to write home about. Manny Machado since August 1st. Since August 1st, Manny Machado is hitting, and it's got to load real quick, but he has gone from batting .302 on the final day of July to now hitting .272 on going into the 12th day of September. That is a crazy stretch. That is a crazy stretch of just not being able to really get anything going. Since August 1st, Manny Machado is hitting .188 with a .537 OPS. He is the guy that needs to really get things going. He is the guy that really needs to get it into gear to help this Padres team out. But you look at everything else from last night. I saw this tweet from Too Much Morton's yesterday about Randy Vasquez. It's so spot on. Randy Vasquez has been ridiculous for the Padres, and it doesn't make any sense. None of his metrics show the success that he is having. Too Much Morton's tweeted out, how does he do it? Randy Vasquez had a 3.72 ERA. He's been an unsung hero. He has. You look at Randy Vasquez's numbers with his ERA, his expected ERA, his fielding independent pitching, his expected fielding independent pitching, and his WAR, and you're like, how is this guy helping this? How is this guy making these plays? How is this guy making this happen? It's baffling. We said it earlier in the year. It was only a matter of time before Randy Vasquez, gets figured out, but he has just been lights out for the Padres. And that's why it's a head scratcher every time they send him back down. Maybe to try to preserve. Vasquez last night, 6 innings, no earned runs, gave up 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. Guy was unbelievable. Bullpen looked legit, didn't give up a single hit to the Colorado Rockies. A very bad lineup. 14 strikeouts for the Padres pitching staff yesterday. Maybe this is the turnaround spot where they could get right against Colorado before they finish up the season with only a couple of series left. 5 series left, including today, including this weekend series against Colorado. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to be talking a lot about this Padres team. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened last night, where everything plays out for the San Diego Padres. We'll get Frank's reactions to last night's game. JP Sears is set to make a start this weekend against Colorado, so he's coming in to help fill in on the rotation.
Starting tonight. Yep, they moved the rotation around. He's starting tonight.
So he's starting tonight. We're going to talk about that at 10:35. We will also get into the NFL whip around. We will get to some high school football, some college football. San Diego State has a bye this weekend in football. Aztecs basketball had some pretty good news yesterday from John Rothstein on Aztec basketball, at least his opinion about San Diego State basketball. We'll get to that as well. Plus, in the next hour, to start the 11 o'clock hour, Mickey Moniak, Colorado Rockies outfielder, will join us on the Braden Surprenant Show. We are just getting underway. If you want to join the show today, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll get Frank's reactions to last night's game as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. 10:18 on a Friday morning. Padres get a victory over the Colorado Rockies last night by a score of 2-0. Randy Vasquez, unbelievable. I mean, Randy Vasquez continues to just be this silver lining, not really silver lining, but he has been an unsung hero of the Padres in 2025. I mean, you couldn't ask anything more out of Randy Vasquez than you have gotten out of him all season long. He's been great. He's been absolutely great. It's crazy to me that it hasn't come crashing down by now. Now, do I want to see Randy Vasquez start a playoff game? Probably not. The Wandy Peralta, Randy Vasquez opener situation is not the worst. I wouldn't mind seeing Randy Vasquez go in there and get a couple of innings in. But he's been pretty good. He's been really good. He needed to be the stopgap for the Padres after what has been just a rough month of August and September for San Diego. We talked about in the standings again. Padres now a 4-game lead on the Mets for the 5th spot in the National League wild card. They trail the Chicago Cubs by 3.5 games, and they're behind the Dodgers by 2.5 games for the division. I still think the division's kind of a pipe dream now. I think you had a chance to win the division, and then you go lose 2 out of 3 to Cincinnati while the Dodgers sweep Colorado. We'll see what happens again tonight. JP Sears will be in action. Frank, let's get the takeaways of last night's game.
Ramon Laureano might be the one of, if not the best trade deadline acquisition the franchise has ever had.
I would agree with that.
As far as what he has done on offense, I have the numbers here. Hold on one second. Let me get back to this. He's since coming to the Padres, he's hit 298, 8 homers, 25 RBIs, 42 hits. He's slugging 539 and an on-base percentage of 357. Not to mention now the 2 incredible defensive plays that he has made over the course of the last couple nights with the robbing of the home run in the last game of the Red Series and then scaling the sidewall, which we never see anybody do in left field last night in the first inning. He has been unbelievable. This offense, even though it's a win, this offense is still your biggest problem right now. Top 5 in the order last night, 3 for 19, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. All 3 of that 3 for 19 was Luis Arraez, and they were all singles. That is not how you are going to win games against the best teams in baseball when you're playing for a trip to the World Series on the line. You are going to get beat every single time. And for Randy Vasquez last night, 6 innings, 4 hits, not a walk to be found. He did pine 9 people, so that helps. There was one point in the game where he had thrown, I think it was 55 pitches and threw 42 strikes. He was unbelievable last night. Far above and beyond anything that this team could have asked from him last night. Randy Vasquez gave it to them, and now you're hoping for the same thing out of JP Sears tonight. You had a great run of starting pitching recently.
Yeah. He's been outstanding. It's been crazy, like seeing like all of his numbers and all of his advanced numbers and being like, I don't know how he continues to do this, but he does. He just continues to do this. And again, it's shocking because of like how he pitches and how he gets through the games and everything like that. Again, nobody listens, Frank. Nobody listens. It's like I said that it's amazing watching him navigate the way he does when his fielding independent pitching numbers are not good. His ERA plus is not good. All of his advanced numbers say it's not good. Like it's only a matter of time before he might give it up because of his numbers. And again, people just go, oh, this guy's just trying to be negative. I'm not trying. That's just the fact. It's crazy. That's how good of a pitcher he's been because he is out pitching all of his metrics.
Stats are very nice until people find one that they don't like.
Right.
He has been, last night was by far and away his best start of his tenure with the Padres. 6 innings, 90 pitches. You never see Randy Vasquez throw over 75 to 80
They never let him go
pitches.
6 innings.
Never. 9 strikeouts. No walks, which is his biggest issue. No walks. That he pitched a gem last night. Got to give him his flowers. He pitched a gem last night.
He needs to be pitching in the rotation for the remainder of the season.
100%.
There should be no more of him getting sent down to
Nope.
AAA unless they're trying to save his whatever.
Well, and right now,
save innings. But at this point, there's 15 games left now?
Right around there. I think
15 games left. Yeah, there's
left.
5 series left. We're in one of them. And that was the extra game that you had to play. There's 15 games left. There are 5 3-game series left, technically. In 15 games, I mean, what was he going to do? He's going to start 3 more times in the rotation?
It might be more because, again, as we had said, you're trying to get everything ready for the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why JP Sears is pitching tonight, I would assume, is to shuffle the rotation to where you're getting King or Pivetta on schedule for game 1 of the wild card series in Chicago. So you're going to see some shuffling of the rotation, some guys in that you wouldn't expect, some guys getting called up last minute like JP Sears. But I would have to assume that Vasquez is going to be a part of that rotation of guys.
Yeah, he needs to be making starts every 5th day until the end of the season and try to keep some arms fresh for the Padres, especially their top end arms. And we've talked about that a lot here on the show about, who's your number 1, who's your number 2 in a playoff series. I mean, it's still a question mark of what you're going to do in game 3 of a playoff series. If the wild card series goes 3 games, you have a little bit of a question mark of who starts game 1 of the NLDS if you make it through the wild card series. But Randy Vasquez continues to do a really good job pitching for the San Diego Padres. Let's go back to the offense. The offense, again, has not been very good. We saw the 3 hits out of Luis Arraez, all singles, great. I mean, I'm not going to knock the guy for getting hits, and I know it bothers him that he's not hitting to the level that he used to hit. But again, I mean, just because he got 3 hits doesn't mean our point doesn't still stand about where the order is at. But at least he's hitting. Nobody else hit last night. Jackson Merrill got a home run. I mean, but it's been pretty spotty with the offense in the last month or two. And that is obviously something that needs to get in gear if they want to make advances in the postseason.
Ill in the chat, the offense hasn't been mid. The offense has been anemic right now. You got 6 hits against the Colorado Rockies. You had games where you were barely scrapping together 3 or 4 hits against the Reds, who you are much better than their pitching staff is. So the fact that this is not a mid run for this lineup,
I'd take mid now.
It's anemic right now.
I'd take mid. The way the offense is playing, I'd take mid. This is below mid, as Frank said. The offense has been below mid for some time now. And you know what? Maybe it's Xander Bogaerts, Frank. Xander Bogaerts has been out.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
They haven't played well without him in the lineup. That's going back to last year. That's going back to this year. Xander Bogaerts isn't in the lineup. Not put up the same numbers. It all runs through Manny, though. Manny's not been hitting well since August 1st. Padres haven't been hitting well since August 1st. This weekend, obviously, big weekend for the Padres. They got Colorado, but the Dodgers and the Giants play each other. Johnny in the chat asks, are we rooting for the Giants this weekend? If you want the division, you'll root for the Giants this weekend. I think you can root for the Giants this weekend anyway, because you have a 5.5 game lead on San Francisco. Unless San Francisco sweeps LA in both the series there and the series in LA, the Padres really don't have to worry too much about San Francisco. I mean, the Padres have a 5.5 game lead on San Fran, which means they have the cushion. But even if they lose, even if San Francisco wins all 7 games, like the San Francisco basically has to win almost every game against LA, and the Padres have to lose almost every game against Colorado and the Mets for that to even be a crazy deal. You have built yourself up enough of a cushion in front of San Francisco where you can root for them this weekend against the Dodgers. Try to keep it within striking distance. I know you don't want to assume sweeps, right? But that'd be something that would get you right back into the thick of things. San Francisco dominating LA and the Padres dominating Colorado. It's a good opportunity, maybe. But we'll see. We'll see what San Francisco's got against Big Bad LA. When we come back, AJ Preller was on the morning show with Ben and Woods. What did he say? We'll get to that. Plus, we'll talk more about JP Sears getting the start tonight for the San Diego Padres against the Colorado Rockies on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. $10:34 on a Friday. A donut Friday, apparently. Those donuts are huge, dude. I went and had a little bit more. I'm gonna need a nap at some point.
Call them pillows for a reason. Huh?
It's called pillows for a reason. You either sleep on the pillow,
or you get put to sleep by the pillow,
and it makes you need to use a pillow. That's basically where we're at with the donuts. They're massive. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I have been drinking coffee all morning. It's not working. I'm going to need something a little stronger, apparently. Let's get out to the phones before we hear from what AJ Preller had to say on the morning show. There's a lot of good questions they asked him. Let's get out to Alan in La Mesa. Alan, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys, man?
I'm doing well. What do you got for us today?
I have been thinking, since they acquired Max, what's his last name, Miller?
Mason Miller.
Sorry for not knowing his Mason Miller. Why, we get behind the Padres. The Padres get behind like 2-3 runs in the first inning. Seems like it's been happening a lot. Why don't we throw one of our closers to start the game for the first 20-25 pitches, and then bring in our starter for? I know it's very unorthodox to think that way, but 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7th inning, and then try something different, because we've got a lot of arms in that bullpen, a lot of what I would consider a closer, and try something different. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's an interesting idea, Alan. I appreciate the phone call. I mean, like using Mason Miller as an opener, perhaps. I don't think the Padres, Frank, are in a desperation mode where they would have to do that.
No, if you're the team you're playing next, you might consider it. However,
meet the mess.
No, it's meet the mess. But no, I don't think right now is where you're using a closer as an opener.
No. I would disagree with Alan. I think it's an out of the box idea.
I mean, it's been done before too.
Yeah, it has been done before.
It's the opener. That's what it is.
That's what
but
it is.
It'd be a 2-inning opener, and
I think you could go 2 innings in an opener.
You're not that desperate yet. Is basically what we're saying.
I mean, like, would you do that for like a game 3 of a playoff game? I don't know. I like having Mason Miller late in the game more than like using him in the first 2 innings when I think I can sneak by with a couple other guys. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. AJ Preller was on the morning show today. And there was a couple part of their manager's report. Or no, well, not their manager's report.
No, their Friar.
They do their Friar Friday. They
That's
just
the
happen
one.
to do the manager. They get the front office guys, and then the afternoon show gets the players. We will have Mickey Moniak on in the next segment.
And we get the opposing team's
team.
players,
Yeah, that's what we
local
do.
boys.
That's right. Talking about usually burritos. Can't wait to ask Mickey Moniak about the Chargers-Steelers thing that he was asked on the Pittsburgh broadcast. Guy was like, yeah, they moved to L.A. I'm out. Sounds good. About to win over a lot of fans down here, buddy. Love it. All right, let's talk about AJ Preller. Let's hear what AJ Preller had to say on some of the things this morning. One of them is, and it's an interesting topic of discussion just because we've talked about the Padres' ability to get a better seed than they currently have is very difficult right now because they are 3.5 games behind Chicago and they're 2.5 games behind the Dodgers, which means you have to outdo them by those by those amount of games in series. There's 5 series left. So in order for the Padres to pass the Cubs, they would have to win every series from here on out. The Cubs basically have to lose 4 of their next 5 series. Same thing with the Dodgers. Like, you're 2.5 back, okay? And they have the tiebreaker, which is basically being 3 games back. You have to, in the next 5 series, again, win every series. And then the Dodgers have to lose 3 of their next 5 series. And it might even be 4 with the tiebreaker, but that's just, doing some math off the top of my head. So that's the reality of the situation when it comes to like the division and chasing down a higher seed. So the question that Ben and Woods asked AJ Preller was, what about resting guys to get ready for the postseason or battling for a higher seed?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal when we started the year is you start off with winning the division and then getting in the playoffs. So I think from our standpoint, we were in a position here with 15 left that we have a chance to do both. In terms of in a pennant race for the division title, and then I think we'd love to host a game here at Petco. So and be at Petco in front of our fans. We played really well this year. So. Schulte and the group, we're constantly talking about what that looks like. And we understand this, again, we're coming down the home stretch, but we've got a lot of players that are super motivated. They're going to be on the field. Everyone's playing a little banged up at this time of year. But in general, it's a fun time to be playing. Our guys feel that it's obviously what we set out for to start the season. And, we're going to be looking to try to do everything we can here in the next 15 to win some games and put us in the best possible position to get to October and then hopefully win in October.
AJ Preller on with the morning show talking about a lot of different things as they had him on today. I like I like what he said. I mean, your first goal is always to win the division, and then it's get into the playoffs. They're in a really good spot where they can, they are going to be in the playoffs and they can still kind of compete. But as AJ Preller said, this is the best time of the year to play baseball. Best time of the year to play baseball. Best time of the year to play baseball at a high level, to be in the race. I mean, Dexter in Spring Valley said it yesterday on the show about how this is great. Because before, it wasn't like this all the time for San Diego. They didn't always have these months where you were locked into the Padres and hadn't already flipped over to your fantasy football team, or at the time the Chargers or the NFL or college football, and be like, oh, they're still playing? It's good to be relevant right now in Major League Baseball. It's good to be in the hunt. It's good to be playing these games, 15 games to go in the regular season, and you have positioning that you are still battling for. Let's talk a little bit more about Manny Machado. Manny Machado has not done very well. Manny Machado's OPS has plummeted since August 1st. Manny Machado's numbers have plummeted since August 1st. He has not played well in the last month and a half, and the Padres offense hasn't played well in the last month and a half. He looks like he could use a day off. Manny always likes to post. Manny doesn't, even when he's hurt, the guy posts every day. So giving him a day off would be kind of insane, I think. And I don't know if he would be super about it anyway. Maybe you give him a day off as a guy that's just DHing. Maybe that's something that the Padres need to think about and consider. But trying to find ways to get Manny going is obviously a big point and big conversation topic of the Padres right now. So the morning show asked AJ Preller about potentially giving Manny a day off.
He loves to be in the lineup,
Yep.
and again, that's a huge part of your best guys wanting to be in the lineup for 162 games. I think Schulte, Manny, they've got a great relationship and a good feel for what he needs to do. Like any player, you're always going to get to a point where sometimes it's best to take a day, and again, I have a lot of trust in our group and coaching staff and Schulte and Manny to kind of figure out, hey, when is that time? And I know from that standpoint, it's there may be a time where you say, hey, it's important to get a day, but I also know Manny's he's out there yesterday at 2:00 early taking swings because he feels like there's a couple of things he wants to work on, and he gets that right. He's gonna be at the spot where he's been all year for us, which is obviously been a force in the middle of the lineup. So, again, I think we have tons of confidence in Manny in terms of his ability to kind of judge where he's at. Does he need a day or not? I think more importantly, it's just getting himself into a spot mechanically and physically where he feels like he's, we have the player we're going to need here to win a championship. And again, I think, I have a lot of confidence and faith in Manny to get himself to that spot. You don't play as much as he plays, and over the years at the level he's played without, knowing himself really well and understanding the game. And, I know he's going to make good decisions with our group about what that looks like in terms of the next couple of weeks.
I totally agree with AJ Preller. I mean, he's earned the right to do kind of what he not what he wants, but Manny is the guy that's going to carry this team. Manny's going to be the guy that leads this team. Manny's going to be the guy that, when he is right, is going to help you win a championship and be a force in the middle of the order. I mean, he's going to do that. And just like AJ Preller said, as the organization has said, all the confidence in the world for Manny Machado to turn this thing around and turn it around for himself. This is one of the longer slumps we've seen Manny Machado in a Padres uniform. And it's only a matter of time before he gets out of it. Now, him taking a day off will be very interesting to see if the Padres and Manny decide to do that. I think it's more Manny's call than anything else. I honestly think it's more Manny's call than anything else. He looks like he could use a day off, but at the same time, he's also the same player that if he ropes the ball the opposite way or has a 3-for-4 night tonight or maybe Saturday or even Sunday, that could potentially propel him into a nice little hot streak. And again, you want to be hitting your best heading into October. Don't want to peak too early. What else was talked about? Well, starting pitcher yesterday, Randy Vasquez. Randy Vasquez was good yesterday. Had a good start. What AJ Preller think about Randy Vasquez's start and the future of Randy Vasquez in a Padres uniform?
Yeah, I think Randy the last couple of years, has kind of been unsung hero, amongst the pitching staff and for our group and our team. He made a lot of starts last year and put us in position to win ball games, and the same thing again this year. So, he's a young pitcher that's still developing, and you got to have patience with those guys. And I think he's seen an opportunity here now, with post trade deadline and an opportunity here to step up into a starting rotation spot, and he's responded really well. And then honestly, not as much of a surprise or a shock, because he's kind of been that guy the last couple of years in terms of quietly taking the ball and giving us a chance to win every time he does it. I think it's been one of the much needed. We've talked about the starting rotation all year. We've withstood some injuries, some different things we've seen really dating back to last year with Joe and Michael and Darvish and some other things. And, you want to be in a spot here where we get to October and we have starters we can rely on. Been a good week from that standpoint to see, what Pivetta did the other day against Cincy, and stepping up. He's been doing that all year and kind of even taking it to a different level. Obviously, Michael King returning, Darvish, having a really strong outing the other night, and then, watching Randy yesterday. So I think it's, we'll weigh it all out here every day. Schulte, Ruben, they're talking about the rotation and what's the best way to do it, kind of balancing what you mentioned earlier, giving an extra day rest here or there for the starters versus putting our best foot forward to win this division. And Randy stepping up is a nice piece of the equation for us, honestly.
Interesting to see how they play out with the rotation the next 15 days. Because, again, you want to be able to line up your rotation the best you can for the wild card series or divisional series. It's going to be a wild card series. I mean, the Padres are going to have to play a wild card series at this point in time. You want your best two guys at the top and then your third best guy. You don't want to have to not use Michael King or not use Nick Pivetta because he pitched on Saturday or Sunday of the final weekend of the season. So there is going to be a little bit of that mixed in for the Padres the rest of the way. I think Randy Vasquez is going to be a big piece with this to finish up the season. But so far for San Diego, I mean, with what Randy Vasquez has done this year, what a great step in the right direction. Especially if he can improve on this year next year. I mean, he's under control for a long period of time, and hopefully he can be penciled in to the starting rotation in the future and be a big asset for this Padres team. Again, they're going to need starting pitching after this year. Don't know what the Padres are going to do with Michael King. Don't know what they're going to do with Dylan Cease. I would imagine Dylan Cease is probably not going to re-sign with the San Diego Padres going into 2026. Michael King, never know. We think that he might be, more likely to sign with the Padres than maybe Dylan Cease, but there's no guarantee. I mean, right now on your roster, you have Joe Musgrove, you have Yu Darvish, you have Nick Pivetta, you got guys like Randy Vasquez, and that's going into next JP Sears. That's going into next season. Those are guys that are under contract already. He's not under contract. Dylan Cease, Michael King. You're going to need guys like Randy Vasquez to help shape out that rotation in the future. Small ball. Padres do play a decent amount of small ball, but the morning show asked about that with AJ Preller. Is that the team's identity? What is the team's identity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of, again, I think if you're going to win a World Series, you got to have a versatile offense that can do a lot. If you're going to be the best team in the world, and I think from our standpoint, we've talked a lot about having the ability to beat you any number of ways the last few years. I do think like playing at Petco. I think again, there's places where you can hit the ball out of the park at Petco. What Petco doesn't do is it doesn't reward kind of the long fly ball, not well hit to the big part of the field. There's some other ballparks that we go around the league and, right center, left center, dead center, you don't quite have to square it up, especially at nighttime like you do at Petco. And I think that plays to like what championship offense looks like, which is, the ability to put pressure on the other team, beat you a lot of different ways. I think for us at times this year, it's been the fact that, if we're struggling to score some runs, you want to try to find a way to get your offense going. I think statistically, we talk about it internally. When we run and hit, when we start runners, when we, get bunts down, when we steal bases, we've won a lot of games in the games that we've done those things together. And I think, Tatis has always said, hey, small ball leading to big ball. I think that's the goal. And I think at times you look at your personnel, we feel like we have a lineup now that should be able to do, a lot of everything. And, I think that's what we're going to try to do here in the last couple of weeks. And that's, if the game calls for it, you want to be able to, move a runner and execute, a fundamental baseball play that usually leads to runs, especially in October when they're hard to come by. And you want to be able to hit a home run, and I think that's what Vic and the group talks about all the time. And, what that looks like to put yourself in those positions. And we've done it at times this year. We probably haven't done it enough overall as an offense. And, if we're going to win, my guess is we're going to do it more consistently here these last couple of weeks and into October.
Small ball. You can win doing small ball. You don't need to rely on home runs. And again, I think you have to play to the team that you have. I think you have to play to the level of, what your environment is. I mean, Major League Baseball and baseball in general is the only sport where every field and stadium change. Everybody else has the same field they're playing on. Everybody else has the same court, with the exception of European soccer that have slightly different size fields. In Major League Baseball, everything's different. The environments are different. And you have to play to your strengths. And the strengths at Petco Park is hitting the gaps. And, you have to square the ball up to hit it out of the deep part of the ballpark. And, the small ball plays at Petco Park. It's very much a pitcher's friendly ballpark. We've talked about that so many different times. I don't mind the small ball. I just, the amount of bunting, I think, is at a level where it's not surprising anymore to a lot of teams. But I think it was a good explanation at AJ Preller right there on the small ball and the team identity, Frank.
Yeah, and small ball leads to big ball. That kind of like, but I mean, it's a vision nonetheless. It's something to. I mean, they have a direction that they're planning on going in.
I think by being able to find different ways to win and not relying just on home runs gives you a better chance of winning.
Lord knows they haven't hit any,
but they don't hit any home runs. The downside is when this offense is clicking, right? It looks really good, but when they're not clicking, it gets really, really bad. It gets really, really bad.
Yeah, and that's where we're at right now.
And right now, you're exactly. That's exactly where you're at because they don't have that extra slug. I mentioned that at the beginning of the season, but that was like when the Padres were hitting some home runs, but the home runs everybody thought were going to come never came during the hot months, in the hot summer months. But you look at the offense for the Padres, and what made it really good at the beginning of the season is they could win based on hitting home runs. They were winning based on stealing bases. They were winning being aggressive, putting the ball in play, getting sac flies, getting guys over. We haven't seen a collective effort like that since the beginning part of the season. We've seen a lot of getting guys on, not finishing and getting them in. And a little bit of small ball helps with that. It helps with that a little bit. I don't mind the small ball play. Whatever they need to do in order to score runs is where they're going to be. But the big thing with small ball that a lot of people don't like is they don't play for big innings. They just play for getting a couple of runs. They just play for the one run that inning. You don't play for the big innings. All of a sudden, it decreases your opportunity to win a little bit. So I think that's why a lot of people find it frustrating with the bunting and everything like that. But that has been the team identity. There's nothing really wrong with that. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mickey Moniak of the Colorado Rockies will join us on the Braden Surprenant Show, standing us on one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. And joining me now on the Braden Surprenant Show is a special guest who plays for the Colorado Rockies but grew up here in San Diego. One of San Diego's own, out of La Costa Canyon High School in Carlsbad, was a first overall pick in the 2016 MLB draft. He was drafted by the Phillies, spent some time with the Angels, has now found a home here in Colorado with the Colorado Rockies. San Diego native Mickey Moniak joining the show on the Braden Surprenant Show. Mickey, what's going on, man?
Not much. How we doing?
Doing well. It's good to have you on. It's always great to talk to local San Diegans that are doing really good in Major League Baseball. We have had so many of you guys on the show over the last couple of months. There's a lot of San Diego players out there in Major League Baseball. What's it like for you as a San Diego kid when you run into other San Diego kids out there representing other teams in Major League Baseball?
No, it's awesome. San Diego's always been a hotbed for talented baseball players. And, I think the term iron sharpens iron is pretty true here. Growing up, we seem to play against, guys who end up in the big leagues, end up, getting drafted, playing Division I baseball. So, getting to see guys in the big leagues that, I kind of grew up playing with and against is it's always fun. And then, in the off season, a lot of us are here, still local, working out and, hitting, places around here in San Diego. So it's super fun.
It's really cool to have, all of that. And, we had Sean Bouchard on earlier in the season when he was up with you guys. I mean, Colorado had a decent amount of San Diegans as a member of the Rockies at the beginning part of the year. Is it even cooler when you get to be teammates with some of those guys?
Yeah, of course. I think, just having that familiarity with each other and I knew Boosh growing up, hung out with him a little bit here and there when we were younger, but, ever since pro ball, we've got some mutual friends. He went to UCLA. I was supposed to go to UCLA. No, it's great. Having teammates like that, who you grew up kind of playing with and against is always fun.
Let's talk about your, commitment to UCLA and then obviously number one overall draft pick. I mean, you can't really turn that down ever. At what point at LCC, as you were going through your high school career, where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to be drafted a little bit higher than maybe I initially expected, and when you got drafted number one overall, I mean, that had to be a great day for you and your family.
Yeah, it was a very special day. Definitely, one that I'll never forget. I think going into my senior year, I think, had a good idea that I could get drafted pretty high and had a good summer, played Team USA, All-American game, area codes, all that stuff. And, played well. And I think going into my senior year, first overall, I've never really crossed my mind really until I'd say about 2 months before the draft. My dad had mentioned to me at the time that, the Phillies were calling, and but my whole focus my senior year was just kind of to have fun with my buddies, enjoy playing with them one last time, and those are still friends I have to this day, and kind of whatever happens. And
was able to go out, have a good senior year. And I think it wasn't official until about 5 minutes before the draft. So it was kind of down to the wire going first overall. And, had a bunch of family and friends. Was here in Encinitas at my aunt's house, and, got to celebrate with them that night, and then, had to graduate high school the next day.
Yeah, that's probably a fun graduation. Lock in
Yeah,
and go get
wasn't too bad.
your diploma from La Costa Canyon or whatever the high school equivalent is. But
Yep.
You come from a baseball family. I mean, your grandfather played 6 years in the Red Sox organization. I mean, that obviously was probably something cool. But talk to us a little bit about growing up playing baseball in the Moniak family with some of the experience that your family has had with it.
Yeah, I think it was great. All my cousins growing up, my dad had 6 brothers and sisters, and all of them had kids. So most of them were the ones I was closest to were about 2-3 years older than me, and everything was wiffle ball in the backyard, playing pickle, all those games you play as a kid. But it was always baseball, and having my grandpa play for the Red Sox. My dad actually went to San Diego State and played for Coach Dietz for a couple years, and I think it only helped me obviously get to where I'm at today. And, the stories that my grandpa tells about, being in the minor leagues and Ted Williams as a hitting coach and all these things, he still tells me to this day. And, I love hearing them every time. So it was all baseball all the time. And, I loved it.
We're talking with Mickey Moniak, Colorado Rockies outfielder, San Diego native, joining us on the Braden Surprenant show. And I always love talking to the local guys, man, just being a local guy myself. I just missed you in high school. I was 3 years older than you at Cathedral. I know there's the nice little Cathedral LCC rivalry there for sure. I played football, only played a little bit of baseball. But what I was going to go back to with just, your high school days, everything like that, some of the guys do it now, and I'm kind of curious. You were committed to UCLA, obviously went pro. A lot of the players that go pro that were committed to their college still follow and are kind of like fans of those college teams. Do you have a connection to UCLA at all? Just, being that you were a commit there, even though you ended up signing?
Yeah, I always root for UCLA. When I was in high school, when I was, still going there, would root for UCLA football, went to a bunch of games. Basketball is pretty good, baseball. So yeah, I definitely root for UCLA a bunch. My true team though, I'd say San Diego State basketball specifically, but it is UCLA definitely hope they always do good.
So I got to ask you then, San Diego State basketball. I mean, obviously, you had some Aztecs there with Buddy at the beginning of the year, but Aztec basketball should be pretty good. We got a little. You've been paying attention at all? What Aztec basketball might be in 2025, 2026?
No, I haven't really paid attention much this year, but I will. Usually, once it gets close to the season, my dad will give me a call and say, Aztecs are starting. I go, oh shoot, so start paying attention then. Kind of get a little surprised, but. I remember we were younger. My dad used to take me to games, over the AHOS when, it was half full. And, I think, so I've been along for the ride here, pretty much my whole life. My dad went to San Diego State, like I said. Root for the Aztecs passionately.
Well, we like to, obviously root for the San Diego guys when they're in town. Not when they're playing the Padres, probably too much. But I tell you what, I know you got a lot of San Diegans excited the other day when you were on the Pirates broadcast and you were mic'd up during the game, and they asked you about being a Steelers fan because to them it was shocking that somebody would be a Steelers fan from Southern California. You gave the best answer for everybody in San Diego about growing up a Chargers fan, them going to LA and saying, like, I'm not following them to LA. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, you're going to be the fan favorite tonight for any of the Rockies in general, but that really fired up San Diegans when they saw that on social media.
Yeah, look, I grew up probably one of the most diehard Charger fans. My whole family, my grandpa had season tickets. I remember he used to give them out. We used to be able to go to one game a year. We used to get to pick, me and my dad. And so yeah, diehard Charger fan. Phillip Rivers, LT, Antonio Gates, all those guys, Malcolm Floyd, can go on and on. But yeah, I was a diehard Charger fan. And then, when I heard they're leaving, I was, pretty bummed. And then when I heard they're leaving to go to LA, that was it. Obviously can't expect me to still be a fan, going from San Diego to LA. I think, like you said, a lot of San Diego people feel that same way. And it was unfortunate, but, had to fill the void, rather quickly, because I think I went 2 years without rooting for anybody, and it wasn't. I love football, so it wasn't a good off season. So, did some thinking, and obviously my family being from Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area, made sense, and you can't go from San Diego to LA and expect me to still be a fan at least.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm in the same boat as you. If San Diego ever got a team back, you dropping the Steelers and coming back?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it'd be tough. I think I live here still. My roots are in San Diego. My heart's always in San Diego. I'll definitely still root for the Steelers, but if San Diego ever got a team, I think I'd make my way back.
We're talking with Mickey Moniak, Colorado Rockies outfielder here on the Braden Surprenant Show. And here's the deal, Mickey. We do this with everybody that comes on, San Diego native. When they come back to San Diego, we got to ask the one food question, because I'm relatively the same age as you, just a couple of years older. And when I was in college, everybody would come back and either get Mexican food or In-N-Out. Now with In-N-Out being more spread, that seems to be the play on Mexican food. But when you're back in town, whether it be in the off season, whether it be your visit, whether it be on a trip, obviously with the Rockies, or whenever you're back in San Diego, what is the one food item that you have to get that you can't get anywhere else?
I gotta go California burrito from Juanita's up here in Encinitas. Don't know if you heard of it. Little small taco shop on the 101. And that was my go-to spot growing up. I used to live across the train tracks from it in high school, and me and my buddies would wander over there often, and that'd be the go-to. So no, Juanita's taco shop in Encinitas. Shout out to them. They are the best.
It's always going to be Mexican food for most of the San Diego kids. I love it. Of course, your aunt hooked us up with some OGs not too long ago. So I know, some OGs pizza is probably a good answer for the family too.
Coleman Mountain Ranch.
Yeah, exactly. Mickey, thanks again for joining us today. We really appreciate it, man. Good luck the rest of the season with Colorado. Try not to beat up the Padres too much from us Padres fans, but thanks again for the time.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
Mickey Moniak, Colorado Rockies outfielder, joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Always great talking with the San Diego kids that are on other teams in Major League Baseball. It's great. I love doing it. We'll talk more about that. I mean, we knew it was going to be Mexican food, did we not? It's always going to be Mexican food.
It's kind of been the bit here.
I mean, it used to be In-N-Out for a while, but now you can get In-N-Out basically almost anywhere. They got them in Colorado now. They got them in Arizona. They got them in Texas. They got them in. I know they're opening up a place they're opening some in Tennessee. It's not as hard to get In-N-Out now. It is hard to get good Mexican food. I don't even like getting Mexican food in Orange County. And it's not even close to being as good as it is here. There's a couple taco shops I would try in Tucson, Arizona. Terrible. I had one that I think I've told this a couple times when I was at TCU. Some woman from Lakeside moved to Fort Worth and brought us sombreros with her. She opened up a sombreros and it was San Diego style Mexican food. And I was like, I got to go find this right now. I got to go see what it's about. I might have a fix out here that I don't have to wait until I come home from college. And I went. And they had Mission tortillas. Not the same, dude. Just not the same. You need that tortilla. You need a little flour on that tortilla. It makes the whole thing. But always great catching up with the local kids that come back into town. It was fun talking with Mickey Moniak. I love his Chargers answer, dude. It's the best. It's the best. Even doubled down and made it better on the show. It's great. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, it's time to talk about the NFL whip around. Get you a preview of what's going to happen this weekend in the National Football League on the Braden Surprenant Show. I enjoyed that conversation with Mickey Moniak, outfielder for the Colorado Rockies, La Costa Canyon alumni, number 1 overall pick in the 2016 MLB draft.
Wonder how jealous Scraby is.
Because it's an LCC guy?
Yeah, we got probably the second biggest name to come out of LCC behind him, naturally.
Not Kevin O'Connell.
Okay, third
best?
most.
Yeah. What about Chase Buttinger? Okay, 4th.
Okay, stop adding names.
I think there's a couple more. What about Kenny Stills?
Why you keep doing this?
I apparently I know a lot of La Costa Canyon alumni.
I mean, all these
famous
guys are
alumni.
All these guys are behind Scraby, naturally.
Well, yeah, Scraby's number 1, of course. La Costa Canyon alumni. What about Spencer Jones? Yankees.
Was he drafted
Top
first
prospect.
overall?
No.
Okay, well then Moniak's above him.
What about the Quisenberry brothers that play in the NFL? Scott and David.
Whichever one was drafted first overall.
I think that's it. There's a couple other names that I don't really know. Eric Avila.
Was he drafted first overall?
No, but he's an American soccer player.
Oh, there you go. Wasn't drafted first overall. I'm sorry.
I think that's it in terms of Philip Evans, baseball player.
Again, I ask.
The photo of him's wearing a Mets jersey. You should know who that is then.
Okay, so that puts him above. I have no idea who he is.
Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills had a pretty good career.
Kenny Stills, I know who he is.
Okay. There you go. There's your famous La Costa Canyon Maverick alumni for the day. So do we think Scraby's jealous? Yeah, it's possible. Anyway, I thought that was a good interview. I really enjoyed the time talking with Mickey. If you missed it, you can go back on YouTube and watch it. It will be wherever you get your podcast very shortly.
Is that Monte Vista's actual mascot, the Almond Otters?
No.
I was going to say.
Monte Vista's the Monarchs. At least the one here. There's multiple Monte Vista high schools.
Okay, I was going to say I need to see what an almond otter looks like. And if there's a plushie of it, I need to have it. Okay, the second one was an inside thought.
That you just
went right on out.
That's right. Braden wants to move a 3-time batting champion down in the lineup and not re-sign him next season. Well, Luis Ariz should probably move lower in the order.
But brother, we were having
He's no longer the 3-time batting champion. That was last year. And the year before that, and the year before that. This year he's not winning a batting title. This year his WRC plus is less than 100. This year he should be batting 7th. Maybe 4th. 4th through 7th I think is fine. I don't want to re-sign Luis Ariz for more than $15 million a year either, due to budgetary restrictions. And Mason Miller's a better pitcher than Robert Suarez. That's why I think Mason Miller should close games and not Robert Suarez. Because he also went on to say Braden wants to get rid of Suarez as a top closer in baseball. If Mason Miller was the closer, would he be the top closer in baseball? He probably would. I'm going to digress on that. Let's get to the NFL whip around.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, we had a game last night. Green Bay over Washington, 27-18. Green Bay jumped out early to a 14-0 lead against the Washington Commanders. And again, in fantasy football lore that I have, going with Jaden Daniels in one of my leagues, I should, I won for the season. I got to get through the growing pains of playing a divisional opponent in your first game of the year and then playing on a Thursday. I'm not going to get a lot of points doing that.
No.
Terry McLaurin. Every time I have Terry McLaurin, the guy sucks in fantasy. So he sucks right now. Hopefully he could turn it around. Matt Gay was good last night. Got a couple of points out of that. But Packers all over the Commanders last night. Was that a surprise to anybody?
No, I don't think so. I think
Green Bay's better. Well, remember the question last week on the Overreaction Monday? Are the Packers the team to beat in the NFC? I thought Washington would be one of those teams. Philadelphia, obviously. You go look at, say what you want about the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are a good team in the NFC. Packers might have proved it last night, beating Washington at home. I mean, that game wasn't really much of a contest last night.
But then again, Washington wasn't all that impressive against the Giants last week. So,
Divisional game week 1. I see that happening.
They weren't all that impressive. So I'm not surprised that Washington had a time against the Packers at Lambeau.
All right, let's get into the games this weekend. Sunday at 10 in the morning. Here's your morning slate. I will be at one of these games, by the way. I'll be at the Rams-Titans game. We're not going to start with that. Jags and Bengals. Bengals by 3.5, Frank.
I'm going to take...
I'm taking the Bengals minus 3.5. Jags aren't very good. Remember, they beat up on Carolina last week.
Yeah, I'll take Cincinnati. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, Jacksonville's in a show-me kind of state. They people say they're good. People are picking them. I need to see it first before I start trusting them.
Here's the stats to know. The Bengals had 7 yards in the second half against the Browns, making them the first team to win a game with less than 10 yards in the second half since the 1995 Colts. They had 3 yards in the second half and won a game. Bold prediction. Hines Allen will record at least 1.5 sacks, though he didn't record any sacks in week 1. He got off to a fast start with a 29% pass rush win rate against the Panthers. Buy or sell, Hines Allen will get 1.5 sacks.
I'll buy that.
I'll buy it. You want to know why? Because Joe Burrow is getting his ass kicked again. Joe Burrow cannot stay upright because the Bengals have not tried to protect him.
Oops.
They got a lot of weapons, haven't tried to protect him. All right, next game on the list.
Next game on the list is the 0-1 New York Football Giants taking on the 0-1 Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 5.5.
I'll take the Cowboys minus 5.5.
I will take Dallas Cowboys 5.5 as well. Bold prediction: New York Giants running back Cam Scatterbo, New York Giants legend already. Cam Scatterbo will catch at least 3 passes out of the backfield in this game.
I buy it because they're going to be getting their ass kicked.
I will buy it as well. Did you see his first 2 plays in a Giants uniform last night?
I did see the plays that you geeked out about when you texted me as soon as it happened.
Bro ran through those defenders like they were Tucson area telephone poles.
All right, Bears and Lions. Oh my. Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my. Both teams are 0-1. Detroit is favored by 6.5 at home. Bears had a lead on Monday Night Football, choked it away. Lions weren't really in the game against Green Bay. They got smoked. Who do you got?
Right across the street from the Tigers, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
I'm going with the Bears.
Plus 6.5. I think they win.
I think the Bears will keep it close. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I think they'll keep it close.
I'll take the Lions minus 6.5. I think the Lions are good. I'm going to take that back. I don't think they're as good as they've been in the past, but I think them at home opener against Chicago, I think they win. Buy or sell, the Bears will record at least 3 30-plus yard plays on offense.
Celerino on that one.
You don't think they're going to have any big plays?
No.
I'll buy it.
Slow moving.
I'll buy it. I think they have some big plays. All right, Rams and Titans. I'll be there.
Yep. The 1-0 Los Angeles Rams taking on the Tennessee Titans at 0-1. Rams favored by 5.5. Brady.
I think the Titans keep it closer than that. Cam Ward, home opener, Nashville, Tennessee. I'll take the Titans plus 5.5. I think the Rams win.
I'm going to take the Rams straight up. I think the Rams are going to take it. Bold prediction: Titans rookie Alec App. Yeah.
You always get the ones of names that you can't pronounce. Ayo Manor?
I'm not going to try. Will record at least 60 receiving yards and 1 touchdown.
Sure, I'll buy it.
Cam
Ward.
I'll try to figure out his name on Duolingo.
Okay. New England Patriots, Miami Dolphins. Dolphins by 1.5 at home. Fantasy-wise, Eddie Brown said, start all the Patriots you have. Because they're going to put up a lot of points against a bad Miami Dolphins defense. I'll take New England on the road plus 1.5.
I'm taking the Pats as well.
Bold prediction: Patriots defensive tackle Milton Williams will record his first sack of his new team. For his new team.
I'll buy it.
I'll buy it too. On to the next one.
The 1-0 San Francisco 49ers taking on the New Orleans Saints, who come in at 0-1. Niners favored by 3.5 on the road.
I'll take San Francisco, even though they're beat up, even though Brock Purdy sounds like he's not going to play. They have no George Kittle for a while. The Saints are going to be the Aints this year. They are trash. I will take the Niners.
I'm going with the Niners as well. Bold prediction. Saints running back Alvin Kamara, I knew that one, will rush for more than 5.5 yards per carry.
I'll buy it.
Same here.
Buffalo, New York is a place. Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. Buffalo's favored by 6.5 at MetLife Stadium down in the city. I'll take the Bills.
I'm taking the Bills as well.
Bold predictions. Brandon Stevens will be targeted at least 9 times at the nearest defender. As the nearest defender.
Yeah, Josh Allen's going to be slinging it around. I'll buy that.
I'll buy it too. Seattle and Pittsburgh, Frank.
The 0-1 Seattle Seahawks taking on the 1-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers favored by 3.5 at Heinz Field.
I'll take the Steelers.
Same.
They looked a lot better than I thought they would look in week 1. Seattle, I don't think is going to be very good. I think Sam Darnold and a lot of his success came from LCC grad Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer up in Minnesota. I like the Steelers to cover the 3.5 point spread.
Bold prediction. Both of them will combine for double digits in screen passes. Both teams.
Sell.
I will sell that as well.
Cleveland Browns and Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are favored by 11.5 at home. That is crazy. I think the Ravens are a lot of people's survivor picks this weekend, because you sit there and go, there's no way Baltimore starts the season 0-2 after the loss that they had against Buffalo. I don't know if they cover 11.5. Cleveland can keep things close. I'm going with Clay's Cleveland Browns, not to win, but to cover against Baltimore.
What's my rule? What's my rule for the NFL?
Too big of a spread?
Yep. Going
Brownies.
Brownies.
Too big of a spread.
Going the Brownies.
I was explaining that to my friend last week. I said, you're going to watch these games. They're all going to come down to the final possession. They're all one possession game. Aside from like the one blowout of the week, every game's going to come down to the wire.
Yep.
Every game comes down to the wire. That's what makes the NFL so great. Mark Andrews bounces back with 5 receptions and a touchdown by herself.
I'll buy that.
I'll buy it as well. Sunday slate in the afternoon.
Broncos Colts. Broncos favored by 1.5 in Indianapolis.
I'll take the Colts. They looked a lot better than I thought. But I know Miami sucks, but the Colts looked a lot better than I thought. They're using Tyler Warren a lot. Gave him the ball on the ground. Can throw him the ball. I mean, he's triple threat. You know that, Frank. Tyler Warren might be even throw a pass. You're going to play the meme from Friday Night Lights. And he can pass. Tyler Warren. Yeah, I like it. I'll take the Colts plus 1.5. I thought Denver looked okay. I thought Denver should have probably destroyed Tennessee. Instead, it was relatively, they could have beat it by more.
I am going with Denver because I know who and what Daniel Jones is. Bold prediction, Colts wide receiver.
That's why Tyler Warren's got to throw the ball.
Colts wide receiver Josh Downs will bounce back after a quiet week 1 and deliver a 70-plus yard day.
Sure. If I'm going to pick the Colts to
that
win,
was convincing.
Josh Downs is going to have a big day. Carolina, Arizona. Arizona by 7.5. I'll take the Cardinals at home.
I'll take the Cards as well.
Cardinals, Kyler Murray will record a completion percentage over the expectation of 4% or better.
He was under the expectation of 4% last week. I'm gonna buy that.
I'll buy it. I think he's gonna be better at home. Eagles and KC Super Bowl rematch.
Eagles favored by 1.5
on the road.
I'll
take Kansas City.
I'm taking the Eagles.
I didn't think the Eagles looked that great against Dallas.
I didn't think so either, but
even though Kansas City they played in Brazil and stuff, Kansas City's going to figure it out. I think the Chiefs win at Arrowhead against the Eagles.
But if you go back to last year, they won so many of their games late on controversial calls. They're not as good. They're not as dominant as they have been. That's why I'm going with the Eagles.
You're making it sound like they're not going to win late on controversial calls. They got the power couple of Travis
I'm
Kelce
just
and
saying,
Taylor
man.
Swift, and Patrick Mahomes is there, and it's at Arrowhead, and
Eagles backup edge rusher Joshua. Okay, there it is again. Will
Uche.
deliver a critical pressure against his former team.
sure.
That's
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
How come I always get the good names here? Sunday Night Football, Falcons and Vikings. You can hear it right here on 97.3 The Fan. Vikings favored by 3.5 over Adam Klug's Atlanta Falcons. Oh, man. Atlanta should have won last week. That was so hard to watch. And then you had to be the insert swear word here and put the Falcons game on television in here. After you told them that, you weren't going to put ESPN on anymore. You were just on fire this week.
Like I knew that was the game of the day for the NFL Network.
I'll take Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings.
I'll take the Vikings also.
Minnesota's Miles Price. See, it's not that hard, Frank. Will return a kick or a punt for a touchdown. I'll sell that.
I'm going to sell it
It's hard
as well.
to do. Monday Night Football, we got 2 games. We'll talk about that on Monday. Bucks and Texans, Chargers and Raiders. I do like the bold prediction for Chargers and Raiders.
It's fantastic.
Raiders and Chargers will tie.
I hope so.
I'll buy it just for the fun.
Just for that. Yep. We want to watch the world burn.
Tampa Bay will sack Stroud 6 or more times. Sell.
So
I like the doubleheaders on Monday night. I think that's better. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to some college football this weekend.
I'm looking forward to a break.
I'm also looking forward to a break. And some high school football tonight. We'll talk about that when we come back and get to the sports thread. Aztec basketball has some news in the noon hour. We'll talk about some Padres topics later on as well. We are just getting started, really, here on the Braden Surprenant Show on a Friday. San Diego's Urban Sports Station, 97 through the Fan. 11:42 on a Friday. It's a Friar Friday. It's a City Connect Friday. It's also a high school football Friday. Frank's getting ready to head out to Santana today. Have we decided where we're going to eat before, Frank? And
No,
I mean you.
No, I have not. I have not decided. I'm still
eastbound and down.
I'm still kind of halfway regretting putting my foot in my mouth on that one. But, hey, we whether or not we genuinely intended on going or not, we got to pay off the bit.
You're going now, yeah.
Because I am a man of integrity.
Are you going to go to Junction 52, or are you going to go to eastbound, or are you going to go somewhere else?
No, I'm going to Santana High School.
You're not going to get food before?
Oh, I don't know.
You got to make it worth your while, dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I get up there.
Gage and Santee. Shout out to my stepson Isaiah. Number 72, right tackle for the Santana Sultans. Sorry, Frank, but go Santana.
He'll be the only one I'm rooting for, bud.
There you go. You got to get some Olympian Eagle parents to be chiming in here. It's a big game. Olympian Santana, a couple of 3-0s, huh? Should be fun. You can see Uncle Martin over there?
Yep.
Oh, it'll be great.
Uncle Martin? I think he said he's wearing a UCLA hat.
Yeah, he said he was going to be wearing a UCLA baseball hat.
Gotcha.
Maffey had those games. Maffey picked Olympian. How does it make you feel?
Oh, he did now.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He did not pick Olympian last week. He picked Olympian this week.
He's trying to get back on my good side then.
That's right.
That's what he's doing.
Jaden Flores has 818 yards, 8 touchdowns as the quarterback for the Olympian Eagles. Prediction from John Maffey, Olympian 28-21 over Santana.
God, I hope it's not that close.
But John, but the thing is with Maffey, he tries to keep it close on all of the score predictions just to let, he doesn't want to. He's going to get S from both sides, regardless of who he picks. He's just going to. So,
it's what you sign up for at that point.
I'm sure it's on a bulletin board at Santana High School right now. Just like it was for you with the Eastlake game. Yeah, exactly. We have some good game. We're going to move the sports thread to noon, if that suffices for you.
Wasn't that my idea?
Yes.
Well, there you go. I think that would suffice for me.
Well, I thought your idea was combining Aztec football and basketball stuff.
Yeah, and then moving the
sports thread. Game of the week, Granite Hills at Mission Hills. I think this is going to be a great football game. Granite Hills at Mission Hills. If you're in the North County, in the San Marcos area, even if you're just in the North County, you want a high school football game to go to this game. Granite and Mission Hills is definitely the game of the week. 2 top-flight quarterbacks in town. Zach Benitez, who has, for Granite Hills, completed 75 of his 102 passes for 865 yards and 9 touchdowns this year, leads Granite Hills. Davion Williams has rushed for 42 times for 250 and a score. Benitez has 4 receivers with more than 143 yards, led by Noah Walker with 12 catches for 238. Tristan Diaz, who has 23 receptions for 201 yards. And the Eagles are 36-6 over the last 3 seasons, in which they have won Division II title in 2022, the Open Division title in 2023, and won the D1 title last season. Granite's good. Granite's trying to make an Open Division tournament again this year. Standing in their way is Mission Hills. And then after that, in a couple of weeks, they're going to play Cathedral. And those are 4 teams that are all expected to be competing for an Open Division playoff spot. Now, as for Mission Hills, their quarterback's going to Penn State. Troy Hune is the signal caller for the Grizzlies. Big targets in Josh Gonzalez, Perrin Blankenship, Xavier St. John, who is also a defensive back. Andrew Romer and Damari Stevens are 2 top defensive players for the Grizzlies. Mission Hills is 34-14 over their last 4 seasons. Granite is ranked 30th in the state by Max Preps, while Mission Hills is 48th in the state. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game. I like Mission Hills in this game at home. But we'll see. If the game was in East County, I'd probably pick Granite. John Maffey's got Granite 21-20 over Mission Hills. It's going to be pretty good. There you go. Much love to one of the listeners' sons plays for Olympian.
There we go.
There you go. Bonita Vista at El Cap. Bonita 0-3, El Cap 1-2. Bonita's been outscored 74-28 in 3 games. El Cap snapped a 2-game losing streak to open the season with a 17-14 win over Chula Vista last week. Maffey's got El Cap over Bonita 21-17. I would agree with Maffey on that one. Other games for you. Maranatha Christian at Coronado. Colin Leonard, who is the freshman quarterback for Maranatha, has now won 2 in a row, beating Escondido Charter and Orange Glen. River Contreras, Aaron Tazen, and Sawyer Brandt are the team's other offensive weapons. Coronado is led by quarterback Jack O'Sullivan, who has thrown for 294 yards in 2 games. Reese Pagan is his favorite receiver. He has 4 catches for 104. I like Coronado in this one over Maranatha Christian. I agree with John Maffey. He's got Coronado 20-17. We talked about the Olympian Santana game a little bit. Olympian has outscored its first 3 opponents 129-24. Jaden Flores, as mentioned before, has thrown for 818 yards and 8 touchdowns. 4 players, Patricio Flats, Jorgani Estrada, Mikey Talavera, and Gio Ware, have more than 113 yards receiving. Santana has outscored its opponents 72-14. Ethan Miller has thrown for 589 yards and 7 touchdowns. Denton Gore and Colton Thornton are the top receivers. Jordan Galissi and Tatum Morehouse lead a stingy defense for Santana. I like Olympian in this game, not just to kiss your ass. I will take the Olympian Eagles.
I'll take it, though.
Oh, yeah? Valhalla at Ramona. Both teams are 1-2. Valhalla has lost its last 2 games after a 51-27 opening win over San Jacinto Valley. Norsemen have rushed for 394 yards while throwing for 107. Ramona snapped a 2-game losing streak with a 41-14 win over Vista last week. I like Ramona in this game. So does John Maffey. Mountain Empire at San Ysidro. That's a drive. Mountain Empire hasn't been 3-0 to start a season since opening the 2011 campaign 6-0. The Redhawks are 10-32 over the last 4 seasons. San Ysidro is led by quarterback Diego Garcia, who has 489 yards of total offense. Sean Blazin has 246 rushing yards, and Aaron Garcia has 10 receptions. John Maffey likes San Ysidro to snap the Mountain Empire start, 24-21. I'll take Mountain Empire in that game. Mission Bay at UC, another good one. Both teams are 3-0. Mission Bay has outscored its first 3 opponents 119-38. Trey Arnold is the first quarterback in the county to throw for 1,000 yards this season. He's already thrown for 1,000 yards. He's played 3 games. He's 64 for 93 for 1,003 yards and 14 touchdowns. Bucks have had 5 receivers with more than 121 yards, led by Jaden Marcelino, who has 12 catches for 214. Kai Barrios, who's got 17 for 196. Running back Shane Brushy has 272 yards and 7 touchdowns. UC has outscored its first 3 opponents 123. It says 123-4. That might be a typo. Quentin Damara has thrown for 659 yards and has rushed for 272. DJ Ferguson, Desmond Damara, and Declan Houston all have more than 144 yards receiving. Deshaun Hill has rushed for 426 and 7 touchdowns. Here's another good game for you. Torrey Pines at Mount Miguel. Torrey Pines makes the trip out to Mount Miguel. Pair of wins to open the season. Torrey lost last week 17-13 to Eric Weddle's Rancho Bernardo Broncos. Falcons are led by quarterback Blake Miller, running back Sonny Villegas and Dominic Rocha, and receiver Logan Bonneau. Mount Miguel is a talented, prospect-heavy team. I like Torrey Pines in this one by a field goal, just like John Maffey. I think Torrey's going to be good out there in the East County. Carlsbad at Poway is a good game. Poway, finally in the top 10, according to the Union Tribune Writers Poll, had a tough loss against San Marcos. Let's see if they can bounce back against Carlsbad, who has been destroying teams out of the gate. I like Carlsbad in this one. I like Carlsbad by a couple of touchdowns. I think Carlsbad's going to be one of those teams battling for an open division playoff spot. And then the last game that we're going to talk about, it involves a nationally ranked team. Mission Viejo is ranked number 3 in the state, according to Max Preps, and number 9 in the country. So the 9th best team in the country is going to come down to Lincoln and take on the Hornets. Mission Viejo's 3-0. Lincoln's 3-0. Lincoln number 1 in San Diego County. Mission Viejo, this is what you need to know about Mission Viejo's team this year. Mission Viejo's team is loaded. They're loaded. This is the team that they think could finally get Mater Dei Santa Ana and St. John Bosco and win a state championship at the open division level at state, which is very difficult to do. I mean, you got to be one of the Trinity League schools. Mission Viejo have outscored their opponents 118-31. Their quarterback is a stud. Luke Fahey, he's a 3-star player who's committed to Ohio State. He has thrown for 877 yards and 10 touchdowns with no picks. Team's best receivers at Mission Viejo are sophomores Luke Carby, Jack Junker, and KJ Woodbury. Defensive back Jaron Jones is committed to Washington, while defensive lineman J.D. Hill is headed to Northern Arizona. Mission Viejo is 40-8 over the last 4 seasons, taking on a Lincoln team that's ranked 5th in the state and 50th in the country. Lincoln's outscored their opponents 143-80. And one of those opponents for Mission Viejo, I mean, they destroyed Folsom. And Folsom's a really good football team up in the Bay Area. So we'll see what this game in store. I think Mission Viejo is a lot to handle. Lincoln always does a good job of keeping it close with some of these powerhouse type teams, so maybe they can, but Mission Viejo might have too much for Lincoln. We'll see. It's going to be that's a big game tonight down at Lincoln. I mean, Mission Viejo is no slouch. I mean, they're number 9 in the country. They got all these talented players. They're huge. Their line is huge. They got all these weapons. They got a quarterback going to Ohio State. Hornets got some good players too. Jordan Roa throwing for 432 yards and 6 touchdowns, no picks. Courtney Miller-Thompson has 20 catches for 255. Darian Brides has 11 catches for 155. Rashad Robinson has rushed 48 times for 520 and 7 scores. Junior Curtis, 30 carries, 283 yards. Offensive lineman Jesus Garcia is committed to UNLV, while defensive end Prince Tavion is committed to Oregon, and cornerback Cameron Purnell is headed to Oregon State. Lincoln is 44-8 over the last 4 seasons. We'll see how it plays out. That's the high school football look tonight. When we come back, we'll get you the sports thread on the Braden Surprenant Show.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
During that last break, Frank is trying to convince me why Rufus the Bobcat is going to beat Ohio State this weekend.
It's a very convincing argument.
All right, you know what? If I had to listen to it, I think everybody should have to listen to it. Why are the Bobcats of Ohio going to beat Ohio State on Saturday?
Well, first of all, Ohio has a better mascot. It's a fierce kitty versus a nut. I think the fierce kitty wins that one. Ohio has more wins, 43-4, over Miami of Ohio. Ohio has never lost to Michigan, where Ohio State has lost to them 51 times.
Okay.
Ohio has won 6 MAC championships, where Ohio State has never won one, which is, for a team like Ohio State, you figured they would have beaten them.
Yeah, I think they'd win one by now.
Ohio has won the famous Idaho Potato Bowl twice. Ohio State has never done it.
Okay.
Ohio has won 1 national championship and 1 world championship.
What do they have a world championship in?
Just don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh, it was the Bahama Bowl, which is not necessarily in the U.S., so there you go. Couldn't find the results of the national championships for Ohio State on Google, but we do know that Ohio State has never won a world championship. And Ohio has more players that have scored the very first points in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1-0. Bobcats all the way.
I'm convinced. You going to go put money on that game?
I'm
not a gambler.
See about that.
That's right. In order to put money on a game, you have to have money. So since we don't have money, we can't put money on the game.
Very true.
But I tell you what, Clay in the South Bay might be a little nervous now after hearing that entire diatribe. 4:00 tomorrow on Peacock.
Never lost to Michigan. That's a big one.
Never lost a minute. My flight got delayed. It's so typical.
No.
It's so typical. That flight always gets delayed. I've never had that flight not get delayed. I mean, it gives me more time. I can go take a nap now, which is great after work. But anyway, this noon lunchtime nap time hours brought to you by the Craft Taco, both flavors in Sorrento Valley and Balboa Park's Natural History Museum, open late on Fridays for Nat at Night. Every time I fly to Nashville, I fly the direct flight because it's better. They used to have more direct flights from San Diego to Nashville on Southwest. Now they just have one, and it usually leaves at like 5:30 in the afternoon. And it gets in at like midnight, Nashville time. And every time it's late. Every time. And at that point, I'm rallying this weekend anyway. What is sleep? I don't know what sleep is. I haven't had sleep in like 3 or 4 since the football season started. No sleep. We're a no sleep gang. Okay, we're working a lot of different things. All right, I got the show every day, staying up watching the Padres, doing football stuff, watching football, coaching football. Friday nights are usually late nights anyway. We're off this Friday, so sleep is not really a thing for me during this time of the year. I catch up on sleep in like January when the season's over. So it's just going to be a rally time when we get moving. So my flight was at 5:30. I think it's now like 6:47 or something like that. Always. The flight's always delayed, which, you know what? It happens. Not that big of a deal. Okay. What's going on in the sports world, Frank? Let's get to today's sports thread.
Chad, the one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what do we got today?
Before we get into the actual sports thread today, just want to say we're talking about week 3 or week 4, however you want to call it here, for high school football. Week 1 for high school football on Long Island starts tonight. Good luck to the Babylon Panthers, who are playing Kings Park tonight, and Amityville, who are playing West Islip. So good luck to you guys out there.
Number 1.
We actually have sound for this one. This was from a couple of days ago, where NBA Commissioner Adam Silver basically told you what he thinks of you as fans.
Here we go.
There's a huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. I mean, this is very much a highlights-based sport, so, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, any service, the New York Times for that matter, to the extent that your content is not behind a paid firewall. There's an enormous amount of content out there. YouTube, by another example, that is advertising based, that consumers can consume.
For those of you who couldn't quite hear it, and I wasn't expecting the audio to be that low, I boosted it as much as I could. Basically said, if you can't afford to pay to watch these games on all these different streaming platforms, this is pretty much a highlight game anyway. So just watch. There's free highlights you can always watch. From the commissioner of the league, really?
He said the quiet part out loud. Basketball, you just have to watch the last 2 minutes. That's it. There's no reason to watch our sport, is basically what he said. No reason to watch our sport. Just watch the highlights after. But if you are going to watch our sport, you better make a lot of money so you can afford to watch our sport. We're a sport for the rich, is basically what he said. That's what it sounds like he said.
Yeah. No, it's
and if you don't like it,
disgusting.
You poor people can watch highlights. Am I putting words in his mouth?
No.
I don't think so. That's kind of what I got out of that. Oh yeah, you just, you can't afford us. Just watch the highlights.
Absolute
gross
jerk.
From making sports too expensive to watch.
From the commissioner of the league. It wasn't from some team owner.
Yeah,
it was the commissioner of the entire league.
Number 2.
Wonder why their ratings are down.
Yeah, I know, right? 13 men's college basketball players from 6 schools were involved in gambling schemes, including betting against their own team, game manipulation, and sharing information with third parties for gambling purposes, the NCAA announced yesterday. Players formerly associated with Eastern Michigan, Temple, Arizona State, New Orleans, North Carolina A&T, and Mississippi Valley State are under investigation for gambling violations, according to the NCAA, which declined to name the athletes until the infractions process has concluded. None of the players are currently enrolled at the schools where the infractions occurred, according to the NCAA. Braden, this is the price you pay for embracing gambling in sports. Is it not?
It is. This is the risk that you took. This is the can of worms that has been opened. This is Pandora's box. We want to get all the money from gambling, but we don't want our athletes to gamble. We're going to make it so easy for everybody to gamble and give us money. Oh, we forgot that all of our players have access to all of this. Of course, this is the problem. I mean, that is the deal that you signed to make this thing happen. It's not surprising to me that this happened.
No, it's not. And this is on the heels of there were 6 players at one school that was supposed to be in this yesterday, had we done it, that got busted for gambling as well. Like, why? This is a big no-no as a player. But still, you can't really, I mean, of course, you can blame them for actually going and acting and doing it. But can you really blame them when every inning you're seeing something about gambling? There's always something. We did the whip around with the spread, with the betting lines. Like it's partly their fault, but this falls on the leagues. I'm sorry.
Number 3.
SEC coaches expressed support Wednesday for the proposed move to college football's transfer portal window from December to January, arguing it is the best option even if it conflicts with the college football playoff schedule. LSU coach Brian Kelly said on Wednesday during the weekly SEC teleconference, "I'm sorry, there's no crying on the yacht. I mean, we got to get this thing set and in its best position at this time to allow us to set our rosters moving forward." Ohio State coach Ryan Day said on Tuesday that he was not a fan of the proposal to open the transfer portal window on January 2nd, 2026, for a 10-day period immediately following the college football quarterfinals. Day is concerned about the difficulty of assembling a roster for next season while still competing in the playoffs. Who do you think has the more understandable gripe? The SEC wanting to do it during the playoffs, or Ryan Day who doesn't want to do it during the playoffs?
I don't think it needs to be done. In what league do they open up the rosters for the next season during the postseason? In what league?
None.
0, because that is psychotic. Could you imagine if Major League Baseball free agency opened up as soon as the playoffs started? Think about that.
Bryce Harper, playing for the Philadelphia Phillies right now, as a matter of fact, in a couple of months, will be a member of the Oakland A's per the contract he signed yesterday.
Are guys opting out like, oh, now's my time to be a free agent? Is at the end of the year here, so I'm going to just start. I'm going to enter into free agency. It's stupid. Wait until the end of the year. Well, we got to make sure these kids are good for school. They don't go to school anyway. I mean,
there's another part to it.
Are we what are we doing here? Are they being paid to play football? Or are they going to school? You know what? They're probably there to get paid to play football. Let them get paid to play football. That's what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted them to get paid to play football. Well, they're getting paid to play football now. So what happens is, if you're going to leave, you're going to be late getting to the next semester for school. I don't feel bad for them. Make the transfer window for 10 days. The first day after the national championship through, that is your 10-day transfer window. If you want to transfer, that's it. And the only other time that you get to enter is if your head coach leaves. And you have 10 days after your head coach leaves or is fired. That is what the rule should be. That is what the rule should be. Well, we got to get them on that. No, you don't. You're paying the money to play football. That's what this is. This is what you wanted. This is what everybody wanted. They wanted these guys to get paid to play football because the NCAA and all the schools are making all this money and TVs. This is them getting paid to play football. This is the rules that need to be put in place to make it as competitive as possible.
You can't cry foul to take away the student part of student athlete for as many years as these conferences and these schools have done. And then cry foul that, oh, well, these kids are students first. We got to get them into school. No, you've done so much to discredit the idea that these are student athletes already, that now you can't pick that argument back up and go, oh, well, these guys are student athletes. They got to be in school ready to go. Now, when it's convenient for you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're a fool.
Number 4.
All right, last one we have time for. Back to the NBA. The NBA will implement a new change for the 2025-26 season with unsuccessful end-of-period heaves now not being recorded as missed field goals attempts for the team. So under the new rule, which was finalized at the league's Board of Governors meeting on Wednesday, those long prayer half-court shots will no longer impact an individual player's field goal percentage. Does that move the needle for you at all?
No, it does. I don't care.
Okay.
Does that mean if they make the half court shot, they get what a super bonus it is for the field goal attempt?
According to Sports Radar, for stat keeping purposes, the NBA will tell the teams that any shot taken within the final 3 seconds of the first 3 quarters that's launched from at least 36 feet away, Jesus, will not count toward an individual. Many players have avoided taking these shots because, God forbid, they mess up their stats.
Oh, yeah, because that's what we're worried about.
According to Sports Radar, players last season made about 4% of those shots taken. Based on its tracking data, Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, and 4 shots for Nikola Jokic made them. Who cares?
I don't care. If they're worried about their stats, they're worried about other things. And that's winning and losing. The fact that we have to put this into a rule, I mean, how many of those are affecting the guy's shooting percentage? I mean, seriously. How many have they attempted, in their career? They can't have a massive, and all these guys have attempt so many shots. There's no way it's having a massive impact on their shooting percentage.
I'll tell you what it does do, though.
What does it do?
Makes for a great highlight.
It's true. All right.
The NBA is a highlight league.
Highlight league. Hey, you know what? That's true also.
All you peasants, watch the highlights.
Just watch the highlights. All you people that have money, watch our product. What a bold thing to say.
A bald thing from a bald man.
A bald works too, I guess. All right. Thanks for the sports thread. When we come back, Aztec basketball is in the news. We'll talk about what was said and why it's good news. When we come back, Braden Surprenant Show. Baseball coverage on 97 to the Fan is presented by T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Braden Surprenant Show here live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station 97.3 The Fan. Coming up after us, Gwen and Chris, and then we got the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show at 5:40. First pitch at 6:40. Padres and Rockies. JP Sears gets the start tonight for the San Diego Padres. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the 1 o'clock hour. We will also hear from Drake Hills joining us at 1:35 to talk about San Diego FC and soccer in town. Well, more of a detailed breakdown of this weekend series against Colorado. And we'll talk about how the Padres have the talent to make a run. Tom Krasovic says the sky isn't falling for the Padres as of right now. So we'll talk more about that. But I do want to continue with some of the other topics throughout the sports world in college football, NFL football. We'll get to college football in a second. But there was a clip yesterday with college basketball from John Rothstein. And John Rothstein was talking about, in a video clip, and we're going to play it for you, play the audio of it, about San Diego State basketball this year. San Diego State basketball this year is going to be pretty good. They're going to be on the rise. One of the teams that's going to be on the rise in college basketball, I think their team is loaded. And John Rothstein tweeted this out yesterday with this clip. We're going to play it here in a second. San Diego State could be the best non-power conference team in college basketball during the 2025-2026 season. I totally think that's not that bold of a statement, to be honest with you. The question is, what are they going to be ranked in the preseason top 25? I don't know if they have enough to get ranked, but we'll see. But they're expected to have a pretty good basketball team. Here's what John Rothstein had to say about Aztec basketball.
I think you can make the case, given the landscape of other dynamics in college basketball. St. Mary's losing a couple of guys, obviously, Augustus Marshallonis and Jordan Ross. Memphis losing a lot. Gonzaga reshuffling its backcourt. I'm not saying San Diego State is going to 100% get this title, but in my opinion, it would not shock me if at the end of this season, San Diego State separates itself as the best non-power conference team in college basketball. Refurbished point guard play with Sean Newman. 3 potential Mountain West Player of the Year candidates in Miles Bird, Reese Waters, and Magoon Guaf. And again, a program that has an identity of defense and rebounding. And as somebody who has sat in San Diego State's practices multiple times at Viejas Arena, the number one thing that is always going to be stressed and focused on for the San Diego State Aztecs is going to be limiting the opponent to second shots and playing great defense. And I remember I was at a practice last year, and Brian Dutcher was working with his team, and he stopped practice, and he said, the only statistic where it's okay to be selfish in basketball is rebounding. And if San Diego State has more offense, thanks to better point guard play, thanks to Reese Waters coming back, San Diego State is going to win a lot of games.
John Rothstein. Talk about Aztec basketball this year. It's college basketball insider for CBS Sports. It's got a lot of good things to talk about when it comes to the Aztecs. I like the additions that they have made from an offensive standpoint. And the biggest takeaway, of course, is Aztec basketball in the sense of defense and rebounding. That's going to win you games in March. That and good backcourt play. That is what wins you games in March. You've gotten the upgrades in the backcourt, defensive play, rebounding. This is going to be a team that could really make a run in the NCAA tournament. And they get some pretty tough games on the schedule. I mean, they're going to play in the Players Era tournament, which means you got 2 Power 5 programs, Power 4 programs that you have to take down in that, and probably going to get a third. You got Arizona at a neutral site in Phoenix. And then you got a very competitive, very talented Mountain West Conference season. San Diego State basketball is going to have a really good year. They are going to have a really good year, and I'm excited to watch them play. And We're still kind of early on. Can't really start thinking too much about Aztec basketball yet until you get to around October. But San Diego State basketball, it just continues to cycle through and pick up where they left off and continue to put together just good season after good season after good season, good recruiting class after good recruiting class after good recruiting class. It's a big reason why that program has had so much success with Steve Fisher and now Brian Dutcher. Aztec basketball. Gonna have a good year. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Talking Padres baseball with you when we come back. A little Aztec football, too. The difference between Aztec basketball and Aztec football. Football's got a weekend off. They did get a nice in-season addition. We'll talk about what that is. And Padres have the talent to make a run. We'll explain when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. We need a contestant for Midday Sports Standoff. If you call in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you call in and take me down to some sports trivia, you'd be qualified for a chance to win a grand prize, a trip to see the Eagles at the Sphere, Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the show on January 30th, a 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort Las Vegas, a Vibe VIP package, and a $100 gas card. The Eagles have added 2026 shows to the band's residency at Sphere in Las Vegas on Friday, January 23rd, Saturday, January 24th, Friday, January 30th, and Saturday, January 31st. The residency now features a total of 48 shows from Friday, September 20th, 2025 through Saturday, January 31st, 2026. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. See, we got a contestant there, which is great. All right. Let's talk about Aztec football getting a big addition, as mentioned before. College football rosters, as pointed out by Kirk Kenny in an article in the San Diego Tribune, set by summer, certainly by the first day of school, which makes San Diego State's addition of UNLV transfer defensive lineman Tatu Martinson this week highly unusual. Martinson was a significant contributor for UNLV the past 2 seasons, collecting 55 tackles and 2 sacks while playing in all of 28 games for the Rebels. The defensive tackle from Sacramento is a graduate senior who is listed at 6'1", 300 last season for the Rebels. And how much he can immediately contribute for San Diego State remains to be seen. Martinson was cleared this week to join the Aztecs, giving him 2 weeks to practice, begin regaining his fitness, and familiarize himself with the defense before San Diego State's September 20th game against Cal. He played 2 seasons at American River College before transferring to UNLV before the 2022 season. Martinson went to court to petition for an additional year of eligibility, his case hinging on the 2 years he spent in junior college. It's the same thing that Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia opened the door with in December when he was granted an injunction after suing the NCAA, arguing that playing at a junior college shouldn't count against NCAA eligibility. Martinson similarly prevailed in court late last month. The decision came too late to return to UNLV, which opened the season week 0 and already had its roster submitted. That started him down the road to San Diego State. So you get to add another defensive lineman. Mid-season ad for the Aztecs. Maybe that can help them out. Maybe that could play. San Diego State is off this weekend. They will have Cal coming up next weekend. We didn't have time to talk about this, Frank, but let's talk about J.P. Sears as we transition back into Padres baseball. J.P. Sears gets the start tonight for San Diego. J.P. Sears could really use a good outing here, as his outings have been very much up and down since being acquired by the San Diego Padres. He's a guy that's under contract for the next handful of years as well. That was made this Mason Miller deal even better, was you added another arm in the starting rotation, and you knew that he was going to be around for a little bit. What do you want to see out of J.P. Sears tonight against the Rockies?
Just don't blow it. That's really it. I mean, you're at that point with these guys coming in, because if you are trying to manipulate the rotation to get Michael King and Pivetta on normal rest for the beginning of the wild card round, that's really all you need a guy like J.P. Sears right now to do, is just don't blow it. Just go out there, keep the game close. 5 innings would be awesome out of Sears tonight. Just keep the game close.
He's got to give everybody an extra day in terms of the rotation. So Dylan Cease is now starting Saturday. Darvish will start Sunday, which means Michael King and Nick Pivetta will both get 2 extra days of rest, as they will start the first 2 games of the series in New York after an off day on Monday. Mike Schilt said this: it's confidence in JP and the ability to make sure we're taking care of Darvish. Michael just came back and recovered well, but continue to make sure what that looks like. Dylan and Nick have been taking the ball and making sure they're getting their days appropriately, and we know we're keeping everybody in a position where they can go out and go pitch and dominate as a starter should. So I like this move, and I think you could do it against the team like the Rockies. But as mentioned before, when you say don't blow it, it'd be nice for him to get through 5 innings and have the not giving up 4 runs.
Yeah,
less than 4 runs.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the expectation. Is I would say 3 with how this offense is, but somebody brought it up in the chat, and you saying now is the perfect time to do it to get a guy like Sears in. I would have to assume that Chicago against the White Sox is going to be another good time to do this, to manipulate the rotation. But this is also the perfect time to give Manny a day off, whether it be tonight or tomorrow. Maybe you swing it for Sunday where he's not playing a day game after a night game. This is a really good time to do all that stuff. If you're going to do it at any point, you're not going to do it against the Mets. You're not going to do it against the Brewers. You're most likely not going to do it against Arizona. You have 2 chances left. You have these next 3 games against Colorado and then the 3 games against Chicago next week. Those
15 games to go. 15 games to go. We looked at this, these numbers before. The Padres go 500 again. We keep talking about it. They still got a 99% chance of making the postseason. They got a big enough lead right now, and their magic number is down to 11. Could have been down to even more right now, but their magic number is down to 11. In order for the Padres to have more than a 50% chance of making the postseason, they have to win at least 4 games out of their next 15. That seems very doable, Frank. Which puts
you would think
that puts 84 wins as the number needed to make the postseason.
You would think there are other teams out there that are not doing that right now.
One in particular.
Yeah, there's one.
That's what keeps lowering the number of what it's going to take to make the postseason at 84 games.
I live for the pain.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Live for the pain.
Give it all. Give it all to me.
Mets still have a 55% chance of making the postseason. It's down to 55 now. Giants have a 22% chance of making the postseason. That's the next team up. Reds have an 18% chance of making the postseason.
Do we really need the Giants to get into the playoffs? They've already won something this year.
I don't need to see the Giants in the playoffs.
They've already won the trade deadline.
They won the trade deadline.
They've already had their win. Let's just let someone else have a chance, please.
I can't believe the Brewers have had their playoff magic number at 2 for all week.
They got swept by the Rangers.
Swept by Texas. Still down to 2. Phillies magic number to make the postseason is 4. Dodgers magic number to make the postseason is 9. Cubs is 8. Padres 11. Mets is 15. With 15 to go. Are you okay? Are you going to be able to make it through this?
I live for the pain.
He lives for the pain.
I live for it.
And the natural casings.
Why do you got to bring that up completely why, man?
I saw New York Mike in the chat. It kind of sparks a reminder every single time. Things have gone all downhill since you wore that Mets jersey. What day did you wear that jersey? I might have to go see what the Mets record is.
It was the first day of the Met Padres series.
I got to look at this now.
They are one of the worst.
They are Jetropolitans.
They're the 4th worst team in baseball since, I believe, the All-Star break, which is also typical for them. It's usually when we fall apart.
2025. By the way, your boy Frank had a epic meltdown yesterday. Your boy.
Yeah.
Frank the Tank. That's your
don't
boy.
You ever insult me like that again.
Your boy.
Don't you ever insult me like that again.
Frank's going to go over here and kick my ass. So you wore that jersey on July 28th.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
That does sound about right. That is a lot of losses. Since July 28th, the Mets have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. They have won 14 games since Frank wore the jersey. They have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It might be the jersey. That could have been the deal.
I live for the pain.
Apparently you do.
I live for the pain.
They gonna get no hit by Jacob deGrom this weekend?
Probably. It's usually how this works.
6 game losing streak. They got swept in 4 games by Philadelphia.
Yeah, that happened.
Oh man, you said that to Crum on a couple Mondays ago. How much the Mets have owned Philadelphia.
Well, they have, and they still won the season series. However, I showed you a text chain between me and my Phillies fan friend.
Yes, I can't believe you have a friend that's a Phillies fan.
Well, I didn't know he was a Phillies fan before he became a friend.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't hold that against him.
No, I'm a reasonable guy.
I'm a fair guy.
Basically, that was after they had won the game on Wednesday. So they've taken 3 out of 4 already. I conceded the division. I said, congratulations on winning the East.
Yeah, you're 11 games back now.
Yep. He goes, have you seen this team play? I would be stunned if they won the East. I'm like, bro, you are 10 games up on
with
a
15
team
to go.
Yeah,
16 to
if
go
you guys lose this division, you deserve to be relegated to high A. Like,
shouldn't
what
even make
are
the
we
playoffs.
doing? So, and then last night, after they swept them, he sent me, I am so sorry. I'm like, don't you ever try to outdoom me on this team ever again.
How about that? I mean, we talk about it all the time in Padres land about the miserable fans that we have sometimes that just think everything's going to go wrong. Phillies fans have a 10-game lead in the division. They still think they can choke it away.
Yep.
That's incredible. All right. Mets have Texas, the Padres,
It's DeGrom versus Tong tonight.
Washington, Chicago, Miami.
You know what the hardest 2 series are going to be?
Texas and San Diego?
No.
Or Washington and Miami.
Yep. Those are the 2.
Those are the 2.
If the Mets are getting knocked out of the playoffs, it's because they lose 5 out of 6 to the Nationals and Marlins.
All right.
That would be why.
Mets, what if? Mets, in order to make the playoffs where you feel comfortable about it, more than 50% they need to go 500. They need to win 8 games. They need to go 8-7 in their next 15 to get to 84 wins. It gives them a 63% chance of making the postseason. 8 games, Frank. Can you win 8 games? Can the Mets win 8 games?
No.
They win 7. They have a 48% chance, or sorry, 38% chance of making the postseason if they win 7 games.
Why do you think I'm not freaking out about this?
Because you're already getting ready for spring training.
I've experienced this. This is 2007, 2008 all over again. Well, they can't hurt me anymore.
That's the PTSD.
The Mets blew a 7-game lead in 20 days in 2007 and missed the playoffs doing it. You can't hurt me anymore after that. The Mets lost a World Series in which they led every single game in the 8th inning or later. They lost that World Series. You can't hurt me anymore. They cannot hurt me anymore. I am numb to their nonsense now. It's expected.
Here's the remember we saw the PTSD thing on the whatever. Do you know what the Next Cap logos spell out? WCM. Wild card miss. PTSD, wild card miss. It's right. The writing's on the wall.
That's the script. That is Major League Baseball's script.
It's awesome. Wild card miss.
That is baseball's script right there.
PTSD.
If the Mets miss the postseason,
miss.
it is Major League Baseball calling its shot. That's all that is.
That's why they have the Family Guy joke.
What are the letters now? What are the?
It was P for Phillies.
But no, I mean, like, what are the
cap
Padre
logos?
Letters? What are the Padre cap logos for this season? Is it like WSC, like World Series champs or something like that?
That would be cool, but I don't think that's the case. But you talking about the final games here?
Yes.
Hang on, I gotta go pull up the schedule. We're missing our midday sports stand. We'll get to that in a second. Schedule and results. I just don't have on the top of my head right now. They have Colorado right now. So
yeah, so that's CR.
Well, you have C and C for Cincinnati and Colorado. And then you have NY, means nothing. And then you have SOX for White Sox. Milwaukee MA.
Y'all are playing with too many letters.
Too many letters. It doesn't work, dude. It's only for the Mets. It's only built for the Mets. Do we have time to do the midday sports standoff, or do we have to talk about the Mets for another 5 minutes?
I think we have time. I believe.
Let's get to it.
Yep.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We had a different contestant, but I believe Jamie in San Ysidro is here, willing to play the game. Jamie, how are you, bud?
How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good, good. All right, so today's topic, 10 possible answers to this. We're going back to baseball for this one. 10 Major League Baseball logos with a complete circle in them. A complete circle,
God.
and no letter. The letter O does not count. So, Jamie, you ready to go?
Does not count.
A complete circle in them.
Yes, a complete circle.
Oh, dear Lord Almighty.
Jeez.
All right.
How many are there?
There's 10.
10.
There's 10.
Doesn't mean it's a circle logo. I mean, there are circle logos, but
my
it doesn't
God.
mean they are a circle logo.
You're an ass for doing this.
Hey, listen, we're trying to stump you, dude.
I know.
I believe
We're gonna run out of time for Jamie to get an
Boston
answer.
Red Sox have a circle.
No,
Socks.
the sock breaks the circle. Braden?
Oh, it's got a. Oh, I see complete circle. I get it now.
Cubs.
Cubbies do. CHC. Jamie.
Holy shit. That's not going to work.
We've been talking about them.
Texas Rangers?
You know what? Yeah, they do.
What?
That's one that's not on the list.
What do you mean they do? It's a T.
It's the circle.
And they have a plate.
It's the circle logo.
And they have a circle logo?
They do have a circle logo.
Milwaukee. They got a baseball in
The
it.
baseball is a complete circle, yes.
The Mets, don't they?
The New York Metropolitans, yes, they do.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's not cap logos, obviously.
No, it's the official logos, yes.
Yeah, okay. Seattle. They have a baseball in there.
Seattle.
Damn, I haven't even thought of that one. I was going to go with the Astros.
Houston Astros, correct. Both tied, 3-3.
San Francisco Giants.
The letters break up the perfect circle of the baseball.
It's a baseball.
The letters break up the perfect circle of the baseball.
Are you kidding me?
No.
No, that's
Wait, I was thinking the exact same
it's
thing.
a circle baseball. The Giants name is on
not,
top of the circle.
It is not a perfect circle because the letters break the circle.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I'm putting this under protest on that. That's terrible.
Jamie?
Braden said the Mariners, right?
Yes, he did.
I did.
Uh,
Wait, wouldn't the compass on
Wait,
the baseball?
hold on.
Wouldn't the compass on the baseball
Well,
break
no,
at the
the
purple circle?
Complemento.
Nope, they just have the A. It's just the A's now.
Oh.
Washington Nationals.
Washington, correct. Then we got 2 strikes on you.
Good gravy. Did Braden say the Brewers?
I did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, need an answer.
The Reds.
Nope, and that would have gotten you the tie, which would have gotten you
Yankees.
the win. No, the Yankees. No, because the bat breaks up the perfect circle.
No, it definitely does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. There's no way. That was your worst question you've ever had.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
stop
That
it.
was, come on. We're discussing that when we come back. 1 o'clock on the Friday. Got an hour left of the show. We'll get you ready for Gwynn and Chris, and then Padres baseball. Equator SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt coming up at 5:40. Padres baseball at 6:40. Frank was explaining to me the last question of his perfect circle nonsense, and I disagree with it. It's not.
Disagree with whatever you want, man.
It's ridiculous.
It was a little bit ridiculous.
He counted so like on the circles, okay? And I had to pull up MLB's logos. He does not count the Yankees logo as a perfect circle because the bat goes through the circle.
And also the Y goes to the bottom of the circle, the S goes to the top of the circle, so it's not a complete circle. There's a break in the circle.
That is asinine. The other thing that's asinine is he said the Cardinals logo counts as having a complete circle because of the eye of the Cardinal. Asinine.
This is not, again, to be fair, I did not come up with this. I did not go scouring, looking at MLB logos, thinking, hey, this looks like this would get Braden really mad at me. I'm going to make this our topic for today. This is from the source that I get my trivia from. And I said, well, that's good enough for right now because we're doing our show already.
Yep. We have what else did Frank say? The Kansas City Royals is another one because on top of the crown there are circles.
Yep.
On the top of the crown. That is part of the perfect circle question.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no. It was a ridiculous question. What about the Rays?
No.
There's a perfect circle in the base. Oh no, there's not enough of a perfect circle in the baseball in the ray or the ray of light. That's Rain Man right there. Exactly. Kind of ridiculous.
Again, I did not come up with the question. I just saw it and said, yeah, this is good enough for right now because we're doing the show already. And I don't have time to think of anything better.
Yep. That explains it. All right. As annoying as that was. What a Friday question for Frank on that one. As annoying as that was, let's get to something that's not annoying. Let's get to something of some positivity, huh? How about positivity on a Friday, Frank?
Let's do it.
Need some visuals here, Marchese. Go look up the logos and you'll be like, this is stupid. That's literally what I was thinking as he was explaining to me why they made sense and why it didn't make sense. Stupid. Frank does draw a foul for the question today.
You know what?
He draws the foul.
I'll eat it.
Okay. So let's go from being stupid.
You saw it and could have passed on it, but instead said, you know what? Let's piss everyone off at work today.
Yep. Not just me. Everybody like watching on a Friday at their office, listening in the background, people driving in a car going, what is he talking about? You upset a lot of people of San Diego today.
You know what? I'll take it.
He draws the foul.
I'll take a double for that.
It should be a tech. That's basically what it is. It's a technical foul. Okay, let's talk about something positive. Tom Krasnovic, who said this team wasn't a playoff team like 3 months ago, which he would have been right because the roster as constructed was not a playoff team. Don't you remember that column?
I do, yes.
We talked about it. He said he wasn't a playoff team. Has now written a column about the Padres being a playoff team. But not only being a playoff team, also having the talent to make a run. Amazing what a trade deadline does. I mean, from saying like not a playoff team to they're going to win in the playoffs. Padres are playoff bound and could be dangerous in October, but not because they're perfect, but because no MLB team looks unbeatable this year. I don't know. I think I've had that argument a couple of times. Have we not discussed that on the air already?
Might have done.
We have. Start looking at all the other problems that other teams have. Most of it's pitching related. All right. Playoff landscape. Dodgers, Phillies, Yankees, and Astros. Teams that are all going to be in the postseason. Teams you only have to worry about right now, Dodgers and Phillies. But those 4 teams are all weakened by injuries or suspensions. There's no juggernaut like in past years. There really isn't. If you had to pick one team that's like a juggernaut team in this year's postseason, Frank, who would you pick?
One more time. I'm sorry. Working on building.
Working on stupid questions again? Is that what you're doing?
Working on building the podcast.
How many perfect trapezoids are in MLB logos? Please define what a trapezoid is first. You know, there are a couple of MLB logos that have hexagons in them. Got any of those? Any hexagon logos for us, Francis? You know, there's some ovals out there as well. Name all the MLB logos that have semicircles.
A couple of rhombi out there.
Semicircles. Maybe. Fouling Out Friday, the new theme. Might be the case.
Foul Out Friday.
Foul Out Friday. Okay, moving on. The question I had is if you had to pick out of the teams that are making the postseason,
yes,
who the juggernaut is in Major League Baseball, who is it?
Oh, boy.
I don't think there's any team.
No, there's really not. Like, any team that looks really good on paper has a lot of problems as far as like what you see, what you get from them visually, and what you get from them on a day-to-day basis.
If I had to pick a team, it'd be the Brewers, I guess. But I don't trust the Brewers in the playoffs. Ask Brewers fans if they trust the Brewers in the playoffs.
Phillies fans don't trust that they'll win the division up 11 games with 15 to go.
Phillies fans still think they're going to blow an 11-game lead in the division with 15 games to go. There's no juggernaut in Major League Baseball. There is none. I mean, I think more from a National League standpoint than an American League standpoint. But look at the American League. Who in the American League is dominant that you don't want to play? Detroit, because they have Tarek Skubal, but outside of Tarek Skubal, who pitches for Detroit? We saw the Houston Astros earlier this year with like half the team out. I mean, the Padres lost Arise in that series. They already had injuries, that they didn't have a full strength lineup early in the season. And I thought they had a chance to take 2 out of 3 from Houston. Seattle's kicked your ass, but they're not like unbeatable. Boston Red Sox aren't scary. We saw them here at Petco Park. I don't think the New York Yankees are all that scary. There's nobody in the American League that's like that. And the National League, too. There's no juggernauts. There's no team like the Dodgers in 2017. There's no dominating team that you can't, like, you just don't want to run into. You know, even in Toronto, Padres lost, they got swept by Toronto. That was, again, early in the season. When I was watching from Toronto, it was not like, there's no way we can beat these guys. But I just don't see a juggernaut level team. That's laid out by Tom Krasnick. The other thing is the Padres' strengths. Everything you need to win in the postseason, a lot of it relies on the bullpen and having a dominant bullpen. And a dominant bullpen led by Mason Miller, who's got a 102.3 mile-an-hour fastball on average and is averaging it has a 17 K through 9, could thrive with postseason rest days. I could see that. Ramon Laureano's trade pickup solidifies a strong outfield. His 923 OPS is a huge boost. Fernando Tatis Jr. is having his most disciplined offensive season and is arguably the best defensive right fielder in Padres history, which is up there because Mr. Padre played right field. It's a pretty good Gold Glove for himself. Jackson Merrill has been consistently above average across the board with the power upside, and the team's baseball IQ and fundamentals stand out with players like Jake Cronenworth turning routine plays into winning moments. All laid out by Tom Krasnick. I'd have to say, they have a lot of things working for them when it comes to being in the postseason. Now, we've talked about it for right now. They're not playing good baseball right now. They need to be able to be playing good baseball near the end of this month, which is in a couple of weeks, really basically the next 15 days. They got to figure out how to play good baseball in the next 15 days and be ready for October. Some of the weaknesses that could hurt the Padres, rotation inconsistency, outside of Nick Pivetta, and a lack of home run power remains very concerning. And Jason Adams' season-ending injury definitely does hurt the bullpen, which is a dominant bullpen. This team is not the 1998 Padres, but they play fundamentally sound. They're well built for current October with bullpen leverage. I don't mean current October. I mean October baseball that has been of recent years. It's been mostly bullpens. And the Padres might be one of the smartest, most detail-oriented teams in baseball. It's hard to argue with that, with what Tom Krasovic put out. There is your taste of positivity on a Friday. Now, at their best, the Padres are playing at their best. They could act like a juggernaut team. When they're playing at their best, with the way that their team is built, even with the starting pitching, if the Padres are playing at their best, they're a team nobody wants to play. In the postseason. There's no way anybody wants to play them in the postseason if they do that. That's a big if. And they got to find a way to get into that mode with the last 15 games of the season. There's your positivity for the week. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll talk more Padres and Rockies in just a little bit. Massive series against the Rockies continues tonight as JP Sears gets the start for the Padres. We'll talk about that. We'll get you some college football. And at 1:35, Drake Hills will join us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Get you your Soccer 101 to finish up the week. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. A couple of more segments left as we get you ready for Gwen and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports station 97 through the Fan. Have we talked about this or not? Has this been mentioned? Colorado and at Petco Park this year are like in their last. They haven't scored a run at Petco in last year.
Yeah, it was. I just saw the picture before. I think it was like August 4th of last
that tweet.
year.
You saw that
Yeah.
Rockies fans tweet. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I'm like, wait a minute. They got shut out last night. They're only here twice. They got shut out last night, and beginning the season, the 11th, 12th, and 13th of April, they got shut out the whole weekend. I totally forgot about that. I'm trying to see like what they did last year, I guess, at this particular time. Because he was this Rockies fan tweets out this picture of Petco Park, and then he
right from the upper row of the upper tank.
And he quote tweets it this year and goes, the Rockies have not scored a run since this photo has been taken at Petco in this place. It's the last time Colorado was in San Diego. Before that, it was August 4th. They scored 2 runs. They lost 10-2. So the Rockies have yet to score a run at Petco Park in 2025. The last time the Rockies scored at Petco Park was August 4th, 2024. That's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing. More so the fact that we just assume that the Rockies are just a problem for the Padres, but the Rockies have not scored a run. They'll score one in the first inning tonight. I mean, it's just baseball.
Jean-Philippe Sears serving one up.
Jean-Philippe. The Rockies haven't scored a run at Petco Park since August 4th of 2024. They haven't won at Petco Park since August 2nd, 2024. The more you know.
The more you know.
That's crazy. I couldn't believe that. We haven't talked about that one time tonight. Has anybody else mentioned that?
I don't know.
Sometimes those things just happen. You have no idea. They're like, there's no way that that's the case. But the Rockies have been shut out at Petco Park this year.
Kind of like how there's 10 teams in Major League Baseball that have a perfect circle.
No, shut up. That was stupid. That was such a dumb question. I know how hard it is to come up with those questions, so I usually give you the benefit of the doubt. But
again, I didn't come up with it.
You presented it.
You
saw it.
I did present it.
And you chose violence today. You said, I'm going to ruin everybody's day at work on a Friday. I'm going to piss everybody off at work. So we'll see if the Rockies can score tonight. My guess, knowing that I said that, will be a leadoff home run to break the deal.
You know, I'm hoping gives up a leadoff home run tonight.
Jacob deGrom?
Well, okay, 2 people.
Okay.
Walker Buehler.
Yes.
Just got called up by the Philadelphia Phillies today.
Is he eligible for the postseason?
No, he is not.
Did they throw him on the roster before? Is he or is he not? Have they said?
Did not. They did not
so
throw him on the roster.
Eligible for the postseason. I saw somewhere that he might be. Are they going to just try to petition for him to be available for the postseason?
That's kind of what I figured was going to happen. I mean, hey, he's pitched this much of the season. They put him on waivers late. We claimed him. Like, that's.
Walker Buehler said something stupid on this John Boy thing. What did he say, Frank? Go ahead.
Yeah, here it is. He was asked, I don't know if the question's in it. He was asked about the ABS, the automatic ball strike system, coming to Major League Baseball, whether or not he wants it here.
ABS?
No, I don't.
What about it didn't work?
I think it's inaccurate. I think in most of the stadiums, it's not even actually on the plate. I think it shifts certain directions in certain ballparks. I think the human element is a huge part of this game. I think starting pitchers that have pitched for a long time deserve certain parts of the plate that other guys don't get. When I got to the big leagues, I didn't get every part of the zone that other guys did, and I think that's part of our game and should be. I think the punishment for challenging something that's clearly a strike is not big enough. I could kind of go on. I think the ABS system in general is a very good idea. I don't think we have any idea where to put it on the plate. I don't think we have any idea how to function it correctly in terms of the angles of ballparks.
I don't think the umpires unions are going to be very happy about it. So there's a lot of negative about the ABS.
So it sounds like Walker Buehler is not a fan of the ABS system coming to Major League Baseball.
Why are you making fun of the way he talks? I don't know Walker Buehler sounded like that.
I didn't either.
That was kind of great. That was, unexpected. Not expecting to hear him talk like that. So he doesn't like it because he is now a veteran. And he wants to get a bigger strike zone from umpires because he is a veteran and he has earned the right to have a bigger strike zone than rookie pitchers.
Cry me a river.
That is the most Dodger thing I've ever heard in my life. That's like watching the Dodgers play all the time. It's like they're always getting stuff off the plate. It's like, oh, well, that's Clayton Kershaw. He's got to be great. I don't want that. No, that's not part of the game. That might be part of the game for like super diehard baseball people. I just want to get it right. Wouldn't you want to just get it right?
Yeah.
Just want to get it right. Walker Buehler. Buddy needs all the help he can get right now. What is he already, like 6?
Yeah, it's up there.
It's been like that for the last 2 years, 3 years.
The fact that he signed a minor league deal with the Phillies after his show me contract with the Red Sox that they bailed out on. Kind of tell you all you need to know about Walker Buehler right now.
One, because Walker's a Philly and Frank is a hater.
Well, he's a Dodger first.
That's right. Is that the worst combo, a Dodger-Philly?
Just about.
Philly-Dodger? Chase Utley's of the world? What's your opinion on Chase Utley, Frank?
I like my job and I'd like to keep it.
I did see a question yesterday. I know it's not the new lunchtime hour. We talked about the Pop-Tarts thing yesterday. Yep. We had, Peterson's Donuts. Peterson's Donut Corner dropped off donuts today. Let's put everybody in a bind walking around the office today.
No corners on any of the donuts, by the way.
What? No, there are. The pillow ones have the corners.
Oh, they did. Oh, I didn't see those. So
there's some cronuts in there too. Big cronut guy. You know what a cronut is?
I don't mind Jake Cronenworth.
A cronut.
I think he's getting a little paid.
Do you know what a cronut is?
No.
It is a croissant and a donut combined. It's a cronut.
Gotcha.
You're going to have to try one then. I heard they're great, cronuts. But anyway, I saw this question in the chat the other day. It's a question for you, natural casing guy. What are the best toppings for a dog to get that snap of the natural casing? If you're going to a New York hot dog vendor, what are you putting on your dog?
I mean, I know people will say that mustard, relish, and stagnant cart water are the only acceptable condiments on a hot dog.
Stagnant cart water?
I'm a ketchup guy. I'm sorry. I know that's sacrilege. I know.
Ketchup on a hot dog.
I know.
Foul. Still better than putting it on carne asada.
You know what? I wouldn't put ketchup on a hot dog if more hot dogs came wrapped in bacon.
You like the TJ dogs with the bacon wrapped hot dogs?
I like the bacon wrapped hot dogs, yes.
There's not a lot of there's not too many things that like bacon doesn't make better for you.
Exactly right.
All right. Mustard dog's always good. Mustard and onions. Dig that. You put any sauerkraut on a dog?
No, I'm not a big sauerkraut guy.
You don't like the cabbage?
No.
What about the...
I'm not putting something quote unquote healthy on a hot dog. If I'm having a hot dog, I've already decided I'm not being healthy today.
We don't need to say what's in a hot dog. Lips and blank are in hot dogs, so take that for what it's worth. Let's get the all beef, but you don't like the all beef dogs because you like that natural casing snap.
No, I like all beef hot dogs. Just because it's not a natural casing hot dog doesn't mean I won't eat it.
What about chili cheese dog?
It plays.
It plays for sure. Chili cheese dog.
It plays.
A little chili, a little cheese, a little onions. I'm getting hungry now. I agree with the one in the chat though on the cinnamon roll thing yesterday. Did you hear that part of the show? Or the round table with the donuts?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Adam Klug has employed quite a few smart asses. The Ben was saying his favorite donut is a cinnamon roll.
I love cinnamon rolls.
That's not a donut.
I wouldn't call it a donut, though.
And he said it was, but like a cinnamon roll, he was saying it was different. Like the cinnamon roll that gets put in the oven is not a donut. He's talking about the fried one that is actually a donut.
Right.
I'm trying to find it on this little pamphlet that they gave us.
Why would you fry a cinnamon roll?
It's fried dough. It's like a donut.
No,
It's
I
just
get
like
it, but like a
flavor.
cinnamon roll is good enough on its own with the icing on top.
He must be talking about the donut version of it. Like you see those cinnamon, they look like bear claws.
Yeah,
that's got to be what he thinks. But if you go to a donut shop and you get a cinnamon roll, that's a foul, dude. That is. That's a foul. You're not getting a donut. You're getting a cinnamon roll. What else is a foul? Fritters. Apple fritters are fouls. Those are also fouls for donuts. We got some phone calls here. Let's get out to Martin and Santee. Martin, we're getting ready for a Santana Olympian.
We are, and Frank just confirmed me for tonight. And Braden, I thought you said maybe a day or two ago that I went to Santee. I actually went to Marian Catholic, so I'm just going out tonight to support Frank, an Olympian, and see a high school game because I haven't seen one in 20 years. And looking at the schedule, I think I'm going to see when you guys play Lincoln.
All right.
I want to see two of the best programs in our county. And it just, looking forward to tonight to see 3-0 teams. I'm guessing that you guys might be undefeated. Lincoln, if they get past tonight, they might be as well. But anyway, great week. Good stuff. Appreciate everything. Looking forward to your soccer guest next. One of my favorites on Friday. I try not to miss the 1:30 or 1:35 catch up on local soccer. But yeah, I am looking forward to tonight to see what high school football in our county is all about again. So take care, guys. Have a great weekend. Safe travels to you, Braden and Frank. I will see you tonight.
Should be a fun time. Got to get the full report from Frank and Martin about Olympian and Santana tonight. One of the games that John Matthew picked. If Lincoln can make it through tonight against Mission Viejo, which is a daunting task. Mission Viejo's 9 in the country. They got Frontier after that, and then they got Grant from Sacramento, which I think Lincoln beat Grant last year. I think they'll be able to handle Grant. And then they get to league play. They got a cross league against La Jolla. They got University City, and then they got the Dons on October 24th. So we'll see Martin at that game. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Brad and Escondido on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Brad?
Hey, Braden, I just want to say that Rise at number 2 was just a wonderful last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, so great. His 3 singles.
Come on, he's on base. Give me a break.
Yeah, he could bat 7th to get on base. He could bat 7th and drive in some runs with guys in front of him.
Oh, you're killing me. Hey, by the way, I went to La Jolla when Marcus Allen played.
Wow.
In Lincoln, and saw him score 5 touchdowns in 5 different ways.
That's crazy.
Think about that. He ran one, he threw one, he intercepted one, and caught a punt and took it back, and a kickoff and took it back.
We have had a lot of great high school football players that have turned into some great Hall of Fame players in the National Football League, especially at the running back position.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. The thing about Marcus Allen, you never saw him get hit hard. The guy never. He said, "I'll duck out. I'll get you the yard next time."
That's awesome.
All right, great show, and you are developing to be one of the young talents in San Diego.
Well, thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. Let's get out to Vince in San Marcos before we get to Drake Hills. Vince, what's going on, man?
Okay, all this food talk. My boys are talking about something called Yo Nuts. They do it inside my house. They're taking their favorite donut, like a maple bar, a French curler, any type of donut, even like a buttermilk donut, and then they hollow it out with their fingertips, and then they're pumping in their favorite ice cream, usually vanilla.
So they mix some ice cream into the donut. That's pretty wild. What do you think about donuts in like a dessert capacity with ice cream, Frank?
I'm okay with it.
It's
not just a morning thing, donuts. I mean, they
it's
usually
more of a dessert
make,
than a breakfast thing.
Yeah,
That's
they usually make them in the morning, and then by the time you get them at home, it's not great. But I mean, I don't mind it as a dessert.
We had the debate on the show about the best donuts in town on the round table. So Peterson sent us some because Wood said it was VG's Donuts was the only. He's been all of them. He said he's been all of them. He said VG's is by far the best. I think it's a North County bias showing. I like Rose's Donuts. Mary's Donuts is good. Donut Touch is pretty solid. There's a lot of good donut places around. We've done the donut thing enough. Super foul from Rod. Is that for the ice cream donut? Probably. All right. When we come back, we got the full soccer report, Soccer 101 with Drake Hills on the Braden Surprenant Show to close out the week. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 1:40 on a Friday. Talked Padres baseball day. Talked some college football. We didn't really talk college football. We talked about Aztec football briefly. Talked some NFL. And right now, we're getting ready to talk a little soccer, as we do each and every Friday with Drake Hills, who is a contributing writer for Black Players for Change. He joins us now on the Braden Surprenant Show. Had a fun day the other day on Wednesday. Both of us were on the call for the USD men's soccer game against UC Santa Barbara, and had a little fun. Had a couple of good goals early and often for USD on Wednesday, Drake.
Yeah, you know what? That was probably by far the best first impression that I could have gotten for my first call in the press box with you, Braden. I think, looking at an interesting flip. The last time we talked about USD, they had to come back from 2-0 down and score a few goals in 4 minutes just to secure the win. But this time around, they get ahead. Steven Ramirez kind of puts the dagger in the coffin, and they beat the UCSB Gauchos 3-1.
It's pretty cool to see the local colleges are having success with soccer. I mean, we talked about USD, but San Diego State trying to get back to what their program was not too long ago. UCSD, a new D1 program with men's soccer, women's soccer, doing all the same things too for USD and UCSD and San Diego State. And we talk a lot about the professional soccer here during this segment, but a lot of good local college soccer as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually pretty excited. You mentioned UCSD. They just appointed Andy Fee as their new athletic director, the director of athletics, I should say. And with an incredible story, UCSD, becoming D1, obviously first school in history for men's and women's basketball to be able to make the tournament their first year of eligibility. I would love to see that same growth in the soccer side. I mean, I actually went to see the women's soccer team play SDSU at Snapdragon a couple of weekends ago. And so that's a testament to the growth of the sport at the collegiate level. USD has been in the tournament on the men's side for quite some time and had a couple of deep runs. And I know SDSU, as you mentioned, is trying to build up there. You got UCSD, the Tritons, and ultimately, as San Diego FC continues to build out its academy, that's also going to feed the talent locally, where you're going to have San Diego FC, academy graduates playing at local college programs.
It's going to be cool to see, and like seeing the building of the local soccer here in San Diego. We've talked about that a lot with how loaded the club teams are, and now moving into some of these academies and moving into college soccer, and it goes up the ranks. Let's talk about the professional ranks again. San Diego FC will play Minnesota coming up on Saturday, tomorrow. We'll have that at Snapdragon Stadium. And then 3 days later, a friendly against Tijuana. These are the two upcoming games for San Diego FC. Before we get to talk to you again, what do we got on these couple of matchups? One in the MLS regular season, one is a club-friendly match.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the club-friendly just because I think it's going to be good to see the amount of fans and the amount of people that have supported the game of soccer for this region, for this area, this binational culture, this incredible hotbed of two club teams at, obviously the top leagues on the continent. And we, Cholos, Club Tijuana, as known as Cholos, they've, hosted games at the Snap in San Diego before. But to see, San Diego FC going up against Club Tijuana, I think it's going to be great for the fans. I mean, it's going to be great for the opportunity for those who are growing up to see two teams they can kind of root for that are their own. Mexican Independence Day celebration, so I think it's going to be great. What is that, on Tuesday? So I'm definitely going to be watching that. But as for this weekend's matchup, Braden, this is going to be a tale of kind of, I guess, exchanging. And what I mean by that is the players that are going to be scoring the goals. I mean, this is the second matchup between these two sides. This is 1 versus 2 in the West, but particularly both of these teams have lost since that June matchup where San Diego won 4-2 up in St. Paul. The second half for San Diego FC, they went ballistic. And what I mean by ballistic is Milan Alaski with the help of Anders Dreyer. And obviously Milan is no longer with San Diego. He's with Philadelphia. But the same thing goes for Minnesota. They've had a couple of
incredible strikers to kind of step up. One being Kelvin Yeboah. He's the guy who's the 25-year-old Ghanaian. He's the one that's been scoring the goals, since there was a kind of, I guess, a big transfer for Tani Aloisei going to Villarreal in Spain. So Minnesota loses a striker. San Diego loses a striker. Obviously, Anders Dreyer has picked up the slack along with Chucky Lozano of being the tandem, of course, being the two stars for this team. And then, of course, Kelvin Yeboah from Minnesota. So I think it's going to be a clash there. But the last thing I'll say on that is this is two different styles of soccer. Minnesota is very much what you may see in the English Premier League, a lot more long balls, long throw-ins, set pieces, trying to overpower you physically, as opposed to San Diego, very much stylistic, keep the ball on the ground, pass, possession, let's find a space, attack the space, and let's attack that way. So it's going to be a great clash at the snap, especially in the last stretch of the season.
Top two teams in the Western Conference, San Diego and Minnesota, the two teams that have clinched a playoff spot as well. Only a handful of games left, Drake. We talked about Minnesota and Tijuana. Next on the schedule, they will play Atlanta and San Jose to wrap up September, and then 2 games in October against Houston and Portland, and then it is playoff time for San Diego FC in MLS. They're still in contention for the Supporters Shield standings. They're at the top of the Western Conference, as mentioned before. As they get down to the nitty-gritty here, and you're starting to see how some of these potential matchups might be playing out, and looking at the standings, little scoreboard watching of what the first round might be like for San Diego FC. How's the playoffs work for MLS for everybody that doesn't know? And what are some of the potential matchups that San Diego FC might be able to see in the first couple of rounds of the postseason?
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting because I myself have been, I guess, trying to understand the new structure as well, where you have the best of 3 series and trying to explain that and I guess how it works. So basically what happens is you're going to be waiting the 9 and the 10, where you kind of have like a play-in round. And so you're waiting for that matchup, and then as well as 8 and 9 to wait to see who you're going to play in that first round. And then you're going from there. And I think if you're talking teams, we can go anywhere between, we've talked about San Jose before. It could be San Jose, it could be maybe someone like, I don't know, especially with the games coming in. It could be Colorado, it could be Portland, it could be Houston, which I think would be an incredible matchup, especially the way Houston kind of came into, Snapdragon and had that come from behind victory 4-3 a little over a month ago. So you're looking at the best of 3 in those first 2 rounds, and then obviously going into the Western Conference, you play that, and ultimately you make your way into December for MLS Cup. But for the fans, you got to keep your eye on Houston. I think that's a dark horse challenge. Not too worried about Colorado. I think Portland could be tricky, but I'm not too worried about Colorado or San Jose. So the 2 teams that I'm thinking about that San Diego could face in that first round is either Portland if they slip, or Houston if they rise and pass San Jose for the 9th spot.
And 2 teams that San Diego FC will play here at the end of the season, with Houston and Portland being their last 2 games in general at the end of the season. So you could play Houston, and then a couple weeks later play Houston again, or same thing with Portland for the first round of the playoffs. We're talking with Drake Hills. He is a contributing writer for Black Players for Change, talking a lot of soccer here on our Soccer 101. Supporter Shield, it seems like we've talked about this before. It seems like a feather in the cap kind of award. I don't know how much San Diego FC is trying to push for that, but they're only a point back from Philadelphia. Is it going to be hard to catch Philadelphia? How do you see the Supporter Shield playing out, as San Diego FC has 4-point lead on Cincinnati and only trailing Philadelphia by 1 point?
Yeah, if I'm looking at strength of schedule, I think it's still possible for San Diego to win the Supporter Shield. Philly has to go to Vancouver. Obviously, we've known about Vancouver as another top team in the West. Philadelphia has to go to Nashville. That's never easy. But then they are home to New England, and then they also go to DC United, which is
going to be not really a tough test at all. But they do have to finish against New York City and Charlotte. Those two teams are not a slouch whatsoever, and especially when it comes to Charlotte on the road on decision day, which it very well may come down to, Braden. Like, we may come down to decision day on the 18th of October and still not know who our Supporters Shield winner is. So if I'm looking at strength of schedule, yes, we've talked about Portland and Houston for San Diego, but I think Philadelphia has just as much of a difficult schedule, if not more. So I think it's possible. But listen, I think San Diego's playing a great game of soccer right now. Luca De La Torre coming back from the U.S. men's national team. You're getting healthier. We've seen Marcus Ingvartsen come in August, back from a season plagued of injury. I think it's good that Chucky and Anders being the MVP candidate. So firing on all cylinders right now.
And you look at the way that they have played on the road, San Diego FC. I mean, they've done a lot of damage on the road this season. Have one of the best road records in all of MLS, and that usually translates to the postseason when it comes to other professional sports. How important is it that San Diego knows how to win on the road for a postseason push?
I mean, that's incredible. If I'm thinking about some of the best wins, obviously last time out against LA, just with recency bias. But I should have known better. When we talked about that game against Minnesota was a top team back then as well. And I mentioned Tolu and some of the guys that they've had then. Scoring 4 goals on the road, it's not just the fact that they're getting wins, but they're scoring. I mean, they went to Vancouver and put 5, right? So in that span of June, right, they scored 12 goals in 3 games, all on the road in June. First at Minnesota, then at Vancouver, then Dallas, which is hot and humid and never super easy. So I think that is the true testament and where the confidence comes from. But I should have known, Braden, thinking back to early on in the season when they went to Salt Lake, and despite what you think about Real Salt Lake in March, we didn't know how good teams were going to be. And you're able to come back and score 3 goals in your 3rd regular season game of all time. So I think for San Diego FC, I think they should be feeling very comfortable, not complacent, but very comfortable and confident in what they may need to do in playoff soccer, whether they're home or away.
It's been fun watching this team all year. It's been fun talking with you all year. We'll do it again next week. Drake, enjoy your weekend and look forward to breaking it down with you next week.
Oh, yeah. I've got the Drake Hills College Football Bowl game, Northwestern against Oregon, tomorrow, 9 a.m. on Fox. So I'll be busy with that one.
You're going to be locked in on the Ducks, I would imagine.
I'm a little torn. I must say. Just don't beat the Cats too much. I'm still part of the Medill Journalism School family, so I might have to have a Northwestern hat with an Oregon jersey.
Oh, you could be one of those fans with the repping the both. House divided for himself, Drake Hills. Tomorrow in the morning. We appreciate the time as always, Drake. Thanks again for joining us here on the Braden Surprenant Show. You know what? I mean, I didn't go to grad school, so it's not as hard for me on a lot of these things. I mean, I obviously like Tennessee with my brother going there, but it's always going to be my school over the other schools. I don't know. I'm not as torn as a fan for TCU San Diego State or TCU Arizona or TCU Tennessee. Luckily, I don't have to really deal with that too many times. The one that's been difficult, though, Frank, has been when USD decides to schedule TCU. That's where it gets okay, thanks. Which they've done in baseball. I've had to do that twice now, wearing all the USD stuff and then going against TCU. That's been tough.
Well, these things happen sometimes.
That's right.
You guys gotta schedule a game with Hofstrake in, because the one time that I believe it was USD, UCSD, and UCLA actually scheduled Hofstra out here, that was 2019, and I know that because that would have been my first chance to see them, and I had just moved to New York.
There you go. That sucks. So maybe they'll do that in basketball. Basketball schedule's already out, though.
Yeah.
TCU's coming here for the Radies Children's. Should be fun.
There you go.
He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Everybody enjoy their weekends. We'll be talking with you again on Monday. Padres baseball, recapping the NFL, college football. Should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. Talk to you all on Monday.